Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rooftop Sports, and here we are for some Mariners baseball. And I am joined by the great and legendary Steve Silver of the Stateside Footy. How are you doing today? What's going on? It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, my friend. No, listen, man, it's a nice little random spring day here in mid-Michigan. It's raining, it's actually dumping buckets out here. But that being said, man, listen, this is kind of exciting considering this is, I have to admit, this is my first Mariner game of the season. And it looks like they're, what are they wearing? Their old Steelheads unis today? All right, there you go. I'm actually kind of excited because, quite honestly, man, I haven't seen this team play at all this year. And it looks like Julio has got a new swing and Brendan Donovan is not hitting. And it just feels like the Mariners are getting off to the typical Mariners start. You know what I mean? Like they'll start peaking around May, turn on the Jets in the second half, sneak into a wild card, and then, bottom out somewhere in the playoffs like usual. And, so a lot to look forward to today.
Well, yes. And unfortunately, I don't think there's really much anything to look forward to as the Mariners starting lineup kind of makes my eyes big. We got Rob Refsnyder, 0 for 18 start. Cal Raleigh, 155. Julio Rodriguez at 205. Arozarena, 282. Mitch Garver, 125. Connor Joe, 0 for 5. Jamal Crawford. JP Crawford, 205. Cole Young, 243, the best hitter on the team, if not Randy Arozarena. And Leo Rivas because of no Brendan Donovan. And, of course, they're doing this kind of lineup because the Mariners just can't get off the addictions of platooning.
Well, it's Sunday, right? So it's getaway day game. And so I'm sure is Cal DHing today? Is that why Garver's in the lineup? There you go, right? So it's getaway day. They're going to rest some guys. I'm sure they got tomorrow off and they're going to go somewhere. I have no idea what the schedule is, but typically that's usually what happens on getaway day. So they're playing the Texas Rangers from the banner up there. Mariners 9-13 on the season, 8-5 at home. That's okay. So I guess the first question that I have for you is how is the season gone, man? Let's just start with that one right there. Like if you had to grade the month of April for the first 20 days of the season, how would you grade it?
Before we even get to that, the Mariners don't have a day off till Thursday, and they lost on Friday. Now, if the Mariners had won their first two games against Texas in this series, I would have accepted that lineup. I'd be like, okay, fine, experiment these platoon guys, get them some reps, fine. But they are tied in the series. So in a game like this, in a situation like this, they should be putting their best players, even if Raley struggles against lefties. Give him a shot. Get him reps against the lefties at least. Maybe that confidence will come eventually. Maybe someday he'll break out of being just a platoon heavy hitter. Now, as for the grade for the Mariners, I would say less than a C because the bullpen's very erratic. Mariners lineup is terrible. I mean, especially when your big three, Naylor, Julio, and Cal Raleigh, they're not even batting 200. Like I'm a crazy take on this. If those three were batting at least 200, I think they'd be running away with this division. So the fact that the offense is coming from like more of the mid-tier to bottom hitters like Luke Raley, even JP Crawford is batting above 200. What about Cole Young?
And apparently JP went to 2 for 4 yesterday with a couple doubles. But all right,
he had a decent.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you how this series went, and you said it was a 3-game series, so they're split 1-1.
Yeah, they're split 1-1.
And so
Friday was very.
Okay, so there's no off day. There was no off day tomorrow. Yeah, so that's okay. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I would say that typically on a getaway day, on a day game, you would kind of see some rotation because you want to give a player maybe that extra day rest. You know what I mean? But that being said, if there's no getaway day, even that, just play your best lineup. You know what I mean? Like regardless, just go ahead and do it. Right. Especially if there was a getaway day that would make a little bit more sense. But if they're playing tomorrow. That being said, you kind of want to take this series, right? So Leo Rivas, you know what I mean?
Who is not a full-time guy. He is a great part-time guy, like in that Dylan Moore role, but he is not a full-time guy. And there's kind of, I guess, some impatience going on, like, hey, when are the Mariners going to call up Colt Emerson? But they're not going to, because his strikeout rate is still very high in the minors. But at that point, does analytics really matter at this point? They could have kept Jared Kelenic another extra year, and it would have been the same thing.
I mean, I can dig it, though. I can kind of dig it, right? Because you don't necessarily want to rush a dude. Maybe in certain instances, you kind of want to let a guy kind of work his way through some of the issues. So from that standpoint, I'm okay with it. But I mean, you got Cole Young performing pretty well, and you would probably Connor Joe, really? Okay. And then you're hoping that the big three you're hoping that they bounce back a little bit, and then find find their groove, and then finally get going, right? I mean, for me, we're still in the first month of the season, and at that stage, it's like, okay, not the greatest way to start off the season, but again, this team doesn't start hot at all. I think the last time it did might have been 2019. Yeah, 2019,
and then it just blew it up.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's like this team really just gets off to slow starts. But generally, by the end of the month, you start seeing this team kind of pick up, and they start scoring runs. So I would probably assume it, but you're kind of hoping after a 60 home run season from Cal Raleigh last year, you would kind of hope that he would get off to at least one of those three would get off to a hot start.
Yeah,
not the case.
I looked at numbers of 2024 and 2025. Obviously, 2025 they had a better start, and 2024 the offense had a horrible start, but their pitching literally carried the whole team. But now this season,
Joe,
I know Connor Joe.
Who's Connor Joe? And who's Young Jr.? Oh, that might be Eric Young Jr., the coach. Okay.
Yeah, Eric Young Jr., the son of Eric Young, cancer survivor senior.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the Baseball Savant page, and here's the funny thing: it's like today's lineup, right? So they got the hot zones, right? And on the Mariners lineup, dude, it's red for great, blue for poor, and it's all dotted in blue. Not a lot of red, and then there's not a lot of color at all. So that lets the solidity of today's lineup, and then compared to what the Rangers are throwing out today, it's all red. Ooh, and plus they got Josh Young in there.
I mean, Josh Young.
Yeah, Jock Peterson, Jake Berger, Corey Seagers in the lineup today.
They got hitters that don't mess around.
So we got typical Taryn. How you doing, Taryn? I hope you're doing well today in the chat.
The best Twitch member, the best Twitch subscriber in my Twitch account.
There you go. Way to be out there, Taryn. I like it. Plus, I like the name Taryn. You don't necessarily see a lot of Tarens out there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we see a lot of Karens out there.
Yeah, we do. As a matter of fact, I saw Karen today at Costco, and she was arguing with some other lady over why she should get an apple pie instead of the other lady who had her kid. And I stepped in and just said, "Hey, listen, give the pie to the kid. Don't be a bitch." You know what I mean? And she didn't like it, but you know what she did? She finally took her hand off the pie and gave it to the mother, who was there first, by the way, with her kid. She came in and tried to swoop in and try to snag the pie from her. I was like, no, we don't play that.
No.
If it, by the way, if it was just the lady there without the kid, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said anything. But when it comes to kids, man. Yeah.
Also, at a baseball game, also, if you're going to swear at a baseball game, be aware of your surroundings first, because if you see a kid and he hears it, he's going to remember it, and you're going to have Mama Bear and Papa Bear all up on your faces too, as they should.
Oh yeah, the infamous Jose Lopez, Steve getting thrown out of Safeco Field incident back in 2005, and yeah, I had a little too much to drink that day. And
don't do that.
You know, when you're there, when a dad and his daughter are sitting right next to you, and
we got the first pitch, and here it is. Now here's going to be a line drive, and that's going to be a base hit. And I guess the Rangers didn't want you to explain that rest of the story, as that is a leadoff hit by Brandon Nimmo. And now Corey Seager is now up to the plate, the brother of Kyle Seager.
Dan, was that a first pitch single?
That was a first pitch.
Yeah, because I'm a couple seconds behind you on my stream here, so I'll see it though.
And now here's Corey Seager. He is 6 of 10 against Brian Wu. Ooh, this is gonna. I already feel like it's gonna be a tough game.
Brian Wu.
And that's gonna be inside for a ball. Brian Wu is still looking for his first victory for this season. Still hasn't gotten it yet. Doesn't really get much run support either.
How many turns through the rotation?
How many turns? I think about 2 or 3 turns in the rotation. Yeah, and it's going to be inside for a ball, 2-0. As we're at still 2-0.
Oh yeah, Nimmo just took a fastball right into right field.
He did.
Inside.
2-0. And that's going to be just missing it. And Mitch Garver is going to propose the challenge on the ABS, something that you asked for, I remember 2 years ago after J.P. Crawford got tossed against the Guardians. And he gets it. Mitch Garver makes a good call. That's actually been his strength throughout the season. He is a good challenger. I'll give him that. So that's going to be 2-1.
That's funny. He's a good challenger.
Speak of my softball, one of my softball leagues has turned to the ABS rule, which I will explain on commercial break, as now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch.
Softball team went to ABS?
My softball league went to ABS. It's really bad.
Damn, I didn't think softball leagues had that type of cheddar in order to bring in the ABS.
Well, no, you'll see what I really mean. As we're at 2-2.
ABS.
And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. That was nothing to ABS about. And that's going to be 3-2. Already a rough start for Brian Wu already with just 2 batters, 6 pitches in. And you have a full count and a man on first base. As now we're at 3-2.
Yeah, he dotted it right
now
there.
The pitch.
There's the ABS challenge.
Going to be popped up. And that should be playable. There's Leo Rivas fighting the sun. He makes the catch. And that's going to be 1 away. As now we are at...
So that's how they challenge it, by tapping their helmet. The catcher taps his helmet?
Like exactly like this.
I can't see it. It looks like your screen might have froze.
Oh, my screen froze? I think everyone's screen's freezing.
Oh, shit. So do it again.
Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be a strike.
So how do they make the challenge? They just tap their head with the ball?
Yeah, exactly. Like tap your head twice. As we're at 0-1.
Fair enough. Yeah,
tap your. We're at 0-1 for Langford. The pitch. There's going to be a ground ball. Could be a double play ball. Throw to second and the throw to first. And that is in time for the double play. And the Mariners get out of it real quickly after a slight rough start by Brian Wu in the first inning. He gets out of it clean. And a nice double play. Now, so here's how it happens. So in order to get a strike as a pitcher, there is another mat, an orange mat at the plate. You have to hit that if you want a strike rather than just leave it to the umpire's best judgment. So they're really, I'll show you. I'll give you an idea.
So is the mat in front of home plate or is it in the back side of the plate?
Backside.
Okay, I was going to say, because that makes no sense, right?
Well, here's to give you an idea.
All right.
That's how much I feel about the rule. I hate it.
See, I don't like it at all because the umpire is just there's no need for an umpire, right? At that stage, because it's like you know exactly what's a strike and you know what it's not. And as a hitter, you're literally just moving out of the way. Like there's what's funny is like there's no need to actually swing at the ball because the chances and likelihood of the ball actually hitting the orange is unlikely, right? So you literally can just load the bases on 12 straight pitches and maybe 1 out of 10 it might hit it, but still, at that stage it kind of makes the game of softball boring. Take away the mat and allow a hitter to challenge a pitcher.
Not necessarily that, but what I see is it takes away so much strategy, right? Now, like, let's say if I'm a pitcher and the umpire's not giving me any strikes, I'm going to turn around and tell all my players, like, hey, he's not even giving strikes. Just wait the first pitch at least. And it has happened before. Right. I've done it before where I've got at least all the females to listen, and then they all walk, and then we drove them in. So, no, I hate from what I heard, the rule was done because of some Karens were complaining about the umpire balls and strikes. I'm like, come on. Now here's Refsnyder, the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep left field, and that is gone on the first pitch. Rob Refsnyder get his first hit of the season, and not only is it a hit, it is a solo home run. Mariners take the lead, and it is now 1-0 on a solo shot by Rob Refsnyder, and I think that's going to break the internet.
Wow. I'm still on commercial break, by the way, but I'm glad to see that Rob got his first hit of the season, and that's actually kind of sad because we're a couple weeks into the season, and his first hit is like 3 weeks deep, and it's a dinger. Well, I guess it's better than nothing.
Better late than never, I guess. But
hey, by the way, how is Mr. Dom doing this year?
Dom Canzone. Oh, and Cal Raleigh tried to, and only 2 home runs. He had a couple hits yesterday that drove in some runs, so he does do his part, but he's still very volatile.
I'm a big fan of Big Dom. Oh, here we go. Oh, dude, high fastball in the zone. Oh, high fastball up in the zone, and Rob just takes it into the bullpen. Ooh, that's nice.
Now here is Julio Rodriguez up to the plate, and now here it is. And that's going to be in there for a strike. So, yeah, when I was doing that I was stepping back, that was me protesting the rule because I'm not happy with it. Like, I think it's a bad rule. I think it ruins the game.
Yeah.
Because we're 0-1.
I would agree.
Not to strike 2. And like all the girls, they just stop swinging too. They're not even trying anymore because like, well, it's not hitting the strike, so I'll just get free walks.
That's exactly right. See, that's the problem with that stupid orange mat is the fact that the walk rates goes up
too.
And there's Cal flying out of the field. But yeah, like that's the problem, right? Is because you have such a small target, and it's not like you're working with like extremely like pinpoint accurate pitchers there, right? So it's just a game of chance anyways, right? So now you've essentially ruined the game of softball, and you've taken out the ability for the hitter to decide what they're going to hit and what they're going to pitch. And by the way, different umps have different strike zones. So if you have an ump with a tight strike zone, the next ump is probably going to have like a loose strike zone. You know what I mean? That's the whole point.
Now here's going to be a line. Oh, it's going to be caught, and that's going to be 2 outs. There were some questions out there. What's the update on Brendan Donovan? He is still dealing with some hip issues, but he is available off the bench in case he is needed for pinch hitting purposes.
Oh, now there's the Nightbot. There's the Nightbot. I missed the Nightbot.
And there is the El Rando Grando batting 282. He's actually off to a good start. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball.
The who? The El Rando Grando?
Randy Arozarena.
Okay. Is that his nickname? The El Rando Grando?
I declare it.
Fair enough.
The 1-0.
I think we should go
El Rando. I went with the whole El Rando. Yeah.
I think we should go with Winnie. Let's go with Winnie. Because we had Cam.
And Jeff Nelson. He was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And then Randy's wins like, "No."
And Nelly and Shiggy.
Yeah, and Shiggy. Time has been called. They don't make commercials like like they do before.
Oh, Julio. Do the Mariners even make commercials anymore?
They do, and they are iffy.
By the way, the best Mariner commercial ever was Larry Bernandez.
The 2-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Felix, I know you love to complete, but you just pitched yesterday. I'm Larry. Bernandez. 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball.
The best thing about that commercial was like for the first month of that season, you had dudes showing up at the ballpark in their Larry Bernandez costumes. That was the best. That was the best.
2-2, and a pitch. And they even made a bobblehead dedicated to it because of the popularity.
They did, didn't they? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, El Rando Grando. I actually kind of like that too.
I remember how much I actually enjoyed the 2011 season. I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be, as we're at 2-2, and now the pitch. And check swing, did he go? He did go, and that's going to be strike 3, retire the side. But congratulations to Rob Refsnyder finally getting a hit.
Yeah, Rob.
It was a home run. And it was his first career leadoff home run, too.
How about Grande? How about El Gigante? El Gigante for Randy.
I don't know.
El Rando Grando? Okay.
Oh, the 2011. Why I was excited was because it was prime Felix. You had Jason Vargas, Doug Fister, Michael Pineda. So you actually had a very solid rotation. Like it literally carried the team for the first couple months. Then you had a slight emergence of Justin Smoke, calling up Dustin Ackley. Mike Harp actually hit 12 bombs, and they were actually fun to watch. And there was actually and then you had the farm system that looked really exciting. And then 2012 kind of erased everything of its hopes. And 13.
Well, what I will say about Big Jack Z was the fact that he actually could put together a pitching staff. Like we never really had terrible pitching staffs under Jack Z. He just couldn't build a lineup at all to save his life. And that was the problem. Like I remember when he took a flyer on Milton Bradley and that didn't work out. He whiffed on all his big trades involving bats. You know, the Justin Smoke trade, Ackley didn't work out. You know what I mean? And the funny thing about it was really the only draft choice that he took that worked out was my boy Kyle. Kyle worked out in spades, but the reality is Big Jack just, he took a lot of chances that didn't pan out, and he just literally couldn't build a lineup that had any semblance of balance. Not to mention the fact that most of those dudes couldn't hit really consistently. And, listen, man, all credit where credit's due, man. He actually had a couple nice staffs that he put together. That 2009 staff was actually pretty goddamn good. I'll give him credit for that.
2014, I think, was his finest. He had Felix Iwakuma, Chris Young. That was a heavily underrated lineup. And I said that was the strength of the team when everyone was saying Robbie Cano. And now we got a ground ball to Leo Rivas, throw to first. It's going to be in time. And let's not to mention.
By the way, I forgot about Chris Young. And Chris Young actually had a great season that year. Young, he had a pretty good year.
The best position player in 2011, believe it or not, was Brendan Ryan. He actually posted a 4 wins above replacement, and most of it was carried by his defense. And if I had a choice between J.P. Crawford and Brendan Ryan today, Brendan Ryan in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why JP was extended because he had that Gold Glove year. I think that might have been in 2020. Jesus, what was that? 2020 during the short season. Yeah, where he won the Gold Glove. But outside of that, it's the problem with JP is he never really fully developed as a hitter, and he's still tight. He's we're 6 years
inside
later
for a ball. I would do that if I were you. The challenge the call, Mitch Garver, but I guess why risk it in on a top of the second? Yeah. I guess
JP's still crazy streaky.
We're at 1-0,
and I think it was
now the pitch.
Wasn't it after 2022 where 2022 he had a really strong season, and the next year
23 was his strong season. That was his prime season, and then he just fell.
There you go. There
now
you
we're
go.
at 1-1 for Jock Peterson.
There you go. Yeah, because he went to drive line.
And that is a strike. Yeah, and then drive line didn't really, and then it kind of died after that.
Notice the two guys that went to drive line ended up getting worse. Ty France and JP Crawford. They got worse by going to drive line.
Don't go to drive line.
Don't go to drive line.
The 1-2. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And then Brendan Ryan, the only reason why his bat was not good was, I mean, who plate protection did he have? He had no one else.
Well, yeah, but you come to think of it though, let's be real. Like if he had plate protection though, he's not gonna be like a 10-50.
Now here's gonna be a line drive spot. But I'll take the 20 runs saved per season over JP Crawford.
Oh, without a doubt. But he might be like maybe a 550 type of player. Like that's going to hit anywhere between like maybe 250, 260. But that's still.
I'll still take it.
If he had you still take it. He's like a Luis Sojo type.
He would have been, yeah. The pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. And I think people should have figured out this earlier, but because of Moneyball and all these numbers and analytics, if people knew about these defensive run save statistics, people would have figured out that Derek Jeter was actually the worst defensive Hall of Fame shortstop in all of baseball.
I don't know.
Now we're at the 0-1. The pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike two. At Jeter's peak, though, he was pretty nice defensively. He made some stops, man. Like, don't get me wrong.
There's a reason why they've only shown 2 shortstop plays of his career: his backhand against Travis Fryman against the Indians, and then that flip play on Jeremy Giambi. There's a reason those are the only 2 ever shown. The other highlight is him. Hold on, we got an 0-2 on Josh Young. And the pitch. Oh, that was close. That's going to be ball 1.
Well, here's the thing. From like 96 to like 2001, 2002 were like Jeter's best defensive seasons, like early in his career. But as it went on, there was like by like 2000, I'm going to say like 8, 9, 10.
1-2.
Like his defense fell off the table.
Challenging, yeah. They are challenging, and we're going to see what. I think Mitch Garver's now taking a chance. Oh, he got it. Strike 3 right on the hair. And that's going to retire the side at a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Wu.
There you go, Woozy.
Well, here's some more softball highlights. I guess it'll give you another idea of how this ABS thing's turning out.
It was like $20 or something, and I gave her like 20.
All right, four. Oh my God, he got it! Oh my
Oh, it was actually a strike.
Ooh, got him!
I heard him talking about that. Yeah. I heard him
Not bad. By the way, that first hit, that looked nice. And then that second hit where you were kind of like overswinging a little bit right there. It's still a base hit. That third one was nice, though. You had that nice little chop, that nice little downward chop, and that ball, that was a nice little hit right there.
It was, but you can tell when you see my plate approach, you can tell I'm not saying I'm not trying, but I'm also not being all intense anymore, because like it's like my worst case scenario is practically just walk, and if it's going to be 3 balls, I'm not swinging, even if it's a strike. And if it's a strike, so be it.
Oh, I agree. I would actually not be happy at all about having to have an orange,
pitch.
strike zone.
I know. Like it ruined my pitching. Like my walks exploded. And it got
Yeah,
so
for
bad
sure.
that now we started to do pitching by committee. That's how bad it got. As we're at 0-1.
Yeah.
And now the pitch. Now I've already, they actually put me at second base, so I had a Brett Boone kind of day. That was actually fun. I didn't realize how much I loved second base because I was a second base as a little leaguer. And when I played it, it was like riding a bike. The 1-1 inside for a ball.
So Zilch is saying August, a Colt Emerson call up, huh?
I think it's gonna be more like May.
Yeah, I was
August
gonna
would be a
say
little
that,
too
like
far out.
Yeah, like May or June.
We're at 2-1.
Yeah.
Now the pitch. And it's gonna be a foul ball.
Randy Johnson 80s jersey night, huh? Is the big unit coming in on May 1st?
He's getting his number retired finally.
Nice. So we're going to have 251s up there, huh?
As there should have been a decade ago, the pitch.
Yeah, for sure.
And the crazy thing is, Randy Johnson, he actually expresses displeasures to Howard Lincoln in front of Angie and Aaron, saying, well, if they wanted to be a Hall of Famer as a Mariner, why didn't Howard Lincoln even talk to me? And he went off, and then you had Angie and Aaron just trying to keep their teeth bitten the pitch. And that's a foul ball. Like you had Angie, she was like, yep, I want to say something, but I love my job too.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
All Aaron Goldsmith could say, oh, sure. I mean, what else is he gonna say?
Well, both of them weren't around at the time, right? So it's like I'm sure they're
Angie
not.
Was.
Well, I mean, she was in college maybe, but she wasn't like doing Mariner.
97 was when she started, and Mitch Garver just got a walk.
Yeah. Really? She started in 97? What, at Prime? At Prime Sports?
No, when it was like Fox Sports Net or something. She was like an intern, and then she worked her way up, and then she got the desk. Then she got the desk job, and if you're old enough, like, I mean, no offense, you remember her as Angie Arlotti.
Yeah, no, I remember the Angie Arlotti days, right? So, I mean, that's the thing is I thought it was like 2000, 2001-ish. You know what I mean? Like somewhere in that area, right? But like, like when Randy was going through the BS with the contract extension stuff, that was like 97, 98. And I know there was a lot of bad blood because the Mariners didn't even offer.
Be a ball. No, they didn't.
And yeah, they didn't even offer, and he would have actually stayed. But that's just the way that shit went. But what I will say is that, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like this should have been like 10 years ago that they retired his number.
1-1.
But if they're going to
2-1, they got to do A-Rod too. A-Rod's due too, in my opinion.
That's what I was going to say. Because if you remember, Randy Johnson wasn't really peak Randy Johnson with the Mariners until like 94. Like that's really when it all came together. Like 93 was solid, but 94 was
2-1.
Yeah, like
that's
I'm
going to be a
strike. Like 93 was solid, but really we didn't see it until like 94, 95. And then, I think 96 he got hurt, and then it was like 97-ish. And then
97 and 98 he tanked the first half.
That's exactly right, to get a trade. And so really it was only like 3 or 4 seasons of like what
and strike 3 call, and Connor Joe is just literally meditating. And that's going to be 2 outs. But credit to Connor Joe. He does look like one of those Koreans from the Joseon dynasty from the old ancient days. I'll give him that.
That's funny. Yeah, but, like really, like Randy Johnson was like erratic from like when he came over in the Mark Langston deal.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like he
walked a ton.
Yeah, he was super erratic. He walked a ton. And like, so if you're going to
Crawford,
Randy Johnson for like
strike
4
1.
years, like if you're going to retire his number because of 4 solid years, don't get me wrong, you want a Cy Young in the process, but you got to retire A-Rod. You got to retire the
A-Rod. Yeah, JP has it, which kind of cringes me.
Doesn't matter. This is the last year of JP anyway.
And throw back to first, not in time. And then JP's going to be like, hey, I want my number retired. Nope, sorry, you're not A-Rod.
Nah. Like A-Rod was the real deal from like 96 to through 2000.
He doesn't get enough credit.
He should have won a couple MVPs. Yeah.
The pitch. and that's a strike. He got robbed in 96 to Juan Gonzalez and then Jason Giambi, and he had unprecedented seasons on those two.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Moneyball is partially also the reason why A-Rod's reputation was saved, because once all the Gen Zers and the alphas started looking at his numbers, like, oh my God, these were amazing numbers, the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Like, you won't even see numbers like that today from the numbers of like 96 through the mid 2000s.
He was winning MVPs with the Rangers, and the Rangers were terrible. When he was winning MVPs, they were garbage. They were so garbage.
The pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball to right field, and that is gone. That's a home run. That is a 2-run home run for J.P. Crawford. I couldn't tell if it was going to lead because the camera threw me off, but now the Mariners take a 3-0 lead, and how about more of these bottom feeder hitters actually doing the work? J.P. Crawford, 2-run home run.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? We just got done trashing our man JP, and he goes yard on us. See, that's what happens. That's what so happens. My man JP getting large. You know, he hurt us too. He hurt us on this live stream. Like
he did.
Oh yeah, we need like the number 3 should be retired under James, whatever his name is, James Patrick Crawford. I have no idea what the JP stand for, but my man just went large.
John Paul.
All of us, right? John Paul.
Now the pitch.
Crawford just went large. My man JP. My man. Yeah.
Hey, you know, like after my A-Rod video, when I was explaining his side of the story, people slowly started to come around for A-Rod, and now the pitch.
JP.
And then I made a video saying that Mariners need to retire Randy Johnson's number, and a couple months later, like, oh, we are retiring Randy Johnson's number.
Yeah.
So maybe the rooftop effect is real.
I think it is real. But you know, here's the thing: for all those people that are talking trash on
there's
A-Rod,
gonna be a ground ball foul. Yeah.
For all those that were talking trash about A-Rod, never actually saw him play in a Mariner uniform. That is the ironic part about this entire conversation. Like, I was around for the entire A-Rod career, not just
I was
his
alive
Mariner
during the
career.
entire time.
Yeah, and it's like, and what's funny about it is like if you know, you know, and this was like
1-2. Now here's gonna be a line drive base hit to left field, and Cole Young's gonna get on first base with a 1-out single.
This was pre-steroid. This was pre-steroid A-Rod, and he was
going
like 40
in high school.
Yeah, he was like, okay, yeah, you're probably right, but it doesn't matter though. He went like 40-40 as a Mariner, and it was, you know, like dude was putting up crazy numbers as a Mariner. And here's the thing: it's like most people will say like Junior was our best draft pick, but A-Rod might be the best athlete of them all. And A-Rod was just crazy. Yeah, he was crazy athletic.
Now the pitch. Now here's going to be popped up into center field. That's not going to get Cole Young anywhere unless he hustles. He makes the catch, and yeah, he can't move from that angle.
Yeah, I know. Typical Terran. Yeah, Reif Snyder was making
waves.
He was playing hard. Yeah, he was. Rob Refsnyder was playing hard to get with all of us too. You know what I mean? He was making us wait like a month.
Yeah, let's do it again, Refsnyder.
Guy has standards. I was hoping for like a bimbo Mariner. Somebody that just comes out hot
for a strike. This is the 5th game of him leading off. As we're
How has he been as a leadoff? Well, considering today was his first hit, I would probably say pretty poor.
He takes 7 pitches to get out. I'll give him that. That's like the only positive thing you can come up with is at least his outs take long to do it. That's it. And he made a catch at the wall.
That's funny. Your JP hate has been a little quiet. That's funny.
Quiet? No, it's still going to be up there as we're at 1-1 the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into right center field. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. But J.P. Crawford shuts us up by hitting a 2-run home run after we said you're not going to get your number retired. You're still not, but it was nice of you to get that 2-run home run.
Yeah, he's not going to get his number retired, but that's all right, though. What's funny about it is there's like 4 different shortstops I'd rather have over J.P. Crawford currently. Right? currently right now in today's modern age of Major League Baseball. Don't get me wrong. The way that I describe JP Crawford is mid at best. You know what I mean? Like he can do some stuff, but he's far away from his defensive peak from his Gold Glove days of 2000 in a shortened season
2020.
and a COVID shortened season. But that being said, he's never really been like, Adonis, a Greek god with a baseball bat.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just said Adonis. I said Adonis. I had nothing. That just came in my mind. I was like, I'm going to roll with it.
Well, the Mariners just have to keep it up.
Up 3-0 though. I like it. And we were talking trash about this lineup too coming into this game.
Well,
And
maybe that's
all
what
of a sudden-
they need to hear that. Maybe they saw all my tweets going, oh man, this rooftop guy's really annoying.
Yeah, there's some guy in the booth listen to us talking trash, and they're walkie-talking it down to the dugout.
Maybe
These
that's why.
guys.
Maybe Tom Hutler really did take a look at my channel. And go, man, he's a Mariner hater. Nah, I can't talk to him anymore. You know what? Fair. I'm not for everyone. I'll just say that.
That's kind of funny that Tom Hutler blocked you on X. That's kind of funny. Like
That was JP.
who knew?
JP blocked me on X, but then Hutler was honest and going, "Hey, I can't do this with you. Sorry, you'll get your 2 shows, but that's it." At least he was
Yeah,
upfront.
but
JP just blocked.
that's funny though. That's funny. It's amazing. It's amazing how soft cats are, where they're gonna block you for having an opinion like they didn't like, and they're just like, I'm just gonna block you. I don't know. I think that's kind of soft. And it's like, here's the thing. It's
For
like
a
it's
guy
not like
that with
when
a
you do-
$12 million salary too.
it's not like you're going to engage in a conversation, but at the end of the day, it's like if you're that sensitive to somebody having an opinion, you probably shouldn't be on social media. You know what I mean?
Let alone shouldn't even be playing baseball at that point. If you can't take criticism, not a pitch.
True.
Because social media is the business of criticism. I mean, and that's what this
True.
channel is about, is willing to criticize, because I've, unfortunately, no disrespect to the other content Mariners creators, they've kind of been giving John Stanton a little bit of slack lately. I mean, it kind of helps when you have a 20-25 run, so you can make all the excuses. But me, I was like, no, maintaining. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Cole Young, throw to first in time.
But the run came short, though. Like, we choked it off in 6 and 7. It's like we could have, by the way, we probably would have gotten absolutely just bodied against the Dodgers anyways. But that being said, it's like we collapsed in 6 and 7. And it's like, it's funny. It's funny how all of a sudden people are actually okay with the fact that we got back to the LCS, understanding that we choked off 2 seasons prior just to get back from like where we were in 2022. So it was like 3-4. We choked off 2 seasons in between playoff appearances, and all of a sudden it's like this is probably like the last run with the core. This season
feels
probably
like it.
it.
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah,
gonna be
of
a
course,
strike.
Everybody's favorite president of baseball operations decides not to just put the chips in the middle of the pot and just go for a chip. You know what I mean? It's like you're not trading away any of your prize prospects or anything. All it takes is money. And just the ability just to bring in
Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Rivas, throw the first in time. Like the unwillingness to re-sign Eugenio Suarez when he was sitting on the market like a house sitting on the market for that long, where all you had to do was just throw an offer and then just negotiate. Yeah. What about Polanco? Yeah, he's injured, but you still should have done it.
You probably could have got Eugenio like on a 1-year, $12.5 million deal. You could have thrown him a 1-year deal, just a show me type of deal, because he's like 32, 33. So you have no idea what you're going to get, but at least you're going to get a solid defensive third baseman, and you might get 25 bombs out of it.
I'll take it. Not bad even with 200 strikeouts, I'll still take it. 1-0.
Yeah.
And the one thing that everyone ignored about Suarez was the intangibles. It was how he shaped the culture of the ball club in the locker room.
Yeah, he had a vibes guy.
Players. That's exactly what. Just like Mike Cameron, although he struck out a ton, he was a vibes guy and a hustler.
He's the guy that keeps everything loose when there's pressure, man.
I think he did
And
a
by the
better
way,
job.
and notice that when the Mariners got rid of him, and notice how we missed the playoffs for a couple of years when we got rid of him. Just saying.
1
Just
year.
saying. A year and a
'Cause
half.
we did this in 23.
Because he
Because
got moved at
23 he was on the
did
team, but then he got traded away after.
okay.
So it was 24. 24 was
I
when
thought
we
it was
saw
a-
the real effects.
I thought it was. I thought he got moved at the deadline in 23.
No, that was
Was it the-
Seawald.
That's right. That's right. Okay. He
Which
got
was
moved.
also a
That's
bad
right. Because he
trade.
got moved. He got moved for a broken reliever and a bag of balls. That's right. He got moved for
2-2. Check swing. Did he go? He did. That's going to be strike 3 and another 1-2-3 inning for Brian Wu. And we're going to go into the bottom of the third.
That's right. He got moved for Zebi Zavala and
Carlos
a catcher
Vargas,
that
who's
got-
on it.
Yeah, there you go.
And he
Carlos
is
Vargas.
on an IL. Ugh, not a good trade.
Yeah. A catcher that's been DFA'd 4 times in his career, and a pitcher that can't stay healthy. Yep.
Ugh. That's how much I miss Eugenio. And I don't even like the whole, I think the whole good vibes only term is all softy, but when it's Suarez, it works. So I was like, no, you say it as much as you want. Like,
Well, wasn't it last year or the year before that we traded for Justin Turner? He was a vibes guy too. You know,
it kind of
although
worked.
that ish.
Hence why
We missed
kind
the
of.
playoffs though.
Yeah, because it was all those trades were like too little, too late, and it was also
Yeah, but you know-
Scott Service was finally showing like everyone finally figured out that he's not the manager. I still hated how he got fired though, because if the Mariners are doing that to him, then they'll do it to the next guy and then the guy after that. So that's why they won't want this job.
Yeah, home dude found out via Twitter. That's not a good way to do it.
Nope.
You know, the funny thing though is that you know, last year, you know, we went into the season with a third base platoon of what was his name? Godly.
Polanco.
No, was it Polanco? Oh yeah, it was Polanco. What was the year that we got the dude from Milwaukee?
Oh, it was
And it won.
no, it was
2023.
Colton
Oh,
Wong in 23, and that was a disaster. And then they went with AJ Pollock for left field. That went well.
No, it was 2024 that it was. So the guy, you know, so we got Dom Canzone and Josh Rojas, and then it was the platoon was going to be Josh Rojas, and then we got a dude from
Ryan
Milwaukee.
Bliss. Now
not
here's Cal
Bliss, it
Raleigh.
was,
It's gonna be outside for a ball as we are back
Now
from
I
the
gotta-
break.
Now I got to know.
And now we've got
just didn't
1-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. And why not do the ABS? Because that was an easy one, but I guess
Luis
not.
Urias. Yeah, Luis Urias.
That's right. They tried that, and that also failed. Now the pitch.
And that
swing and a
fails.
miss
It's
strike
like
two.
it's like, when is Jerry Dipoto going to get off this third base platoon? It's like you're going to need a guy who can go at least 100 120 at the position. And it's like, you know, if you're like, that's the thing. It's like, if you're call up a prospect or something, give a young guy a chance to develop at that position at the very least. But, you know, going off these platoons, man, chances are it's just not going to work. And you're going to be at the deadline looking for a third baseman. And it's always, and you know how Dipoto works too. He's going to get a guy who's going to be on an expiring contract.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see at the trade deadline. Maybe the Mariners will just bring back Suarez and Polanco on cheap trades. A pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball, but it's also contingent if the Reds are bad. That's the thing
Right.
they have to depend on. And then they're going to let him go again.
Okay, yeah. So he is with
Reds are leading the division, so they're not trading him. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Cal Raleigh's struggle continues. And that's going to be one away.
By the way, Eugenio Suarez has 21 games, 82 plate appearances with the Cincinnati Reds, and he's batting .270 with a .341 OBP, a .432 slugging, and his OPS is .774. He's got three home runs, 11 RBI already. Oh,
I I mean, he wouldn't have those numbers in Seattle, but he would still help.
Yeah. I mean, last year with the Mariners, I think he had 13 and 31. He only batted a $189, but
it still helped.
It still helped. It still helped.
We're at 0-1 the pitch. But that's the thing. I think too many people gave, but I just didn't like how the Mariner fans reacted. They're like, oh well, at least he'll have 200 strikeouts a year. Yeah, we're gonna get that from everyone else though.
Could it be that he's just a National League type of guy though? Because he had his best years in the National League.
1-1. It's gonna be inside for a ball, and that Cincinnati is a very easy stadium to hit, along with Arizona.
Oh yeah,
National League tends to have those easier stadiums, so it does that. But even then, still no excuse. I still would have wanted to extend him. We're at 2-1 the pitch. Inside for a ball, nice. 3-1. Julio's actually being patient on this one.
So let's see. Cloud Hopper
Ryan
57
Healy
says,
is with Aaron Goldsmith. Remember good old Ryan Healy, the former Mariner, the pitch. And popped up, and that is who has got it. Seager makes the catch. Kind of did a little Willie Mays style.
Yeah, I was wondering who the bearded wonder in the booth was.
Well, I can tell you that Angie Mentic's not in the booth. She usually is not on, and there is a reason for it.
Yeah, well, didn't she have a stroke though? I heard she had a stroke and she was out for a while.
I won't use that against her. It wasn't. No, I'm not saying her stroke or not. I still think.
No, I heard what happened. what happened. But by the way, big up to Angie Mentic. I hope you're doing well. I don't like hearing about any of that at all. You know, having strokes and having health issues. She's young, and
she's too young to be having that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I hope you're doing well.
Also, don't forget she had cancer too for 2 years.
Yeah. But I saw that
she's still working through it too.
I think so. But I saw that some asshole was trying to dunk on her by recording her using Google AI. Google AI.
I'm like, who doesn't do that? Everyone's doing it.
Yeah, but by the way, when did that get normalized? That's what I want to know. Because by the way, you're thinking you're dunking on somebody, and it turned around that people actually were back at Angie more than the dude.
Now here's gonna be a liner to left field, and that is gonna be a base hit. Should be an easy double for Randy Arozarena. His helmet flies off, but he will get to second base on a 2-out double.
You know what's funny is I use AI every day, right? Because in my job, there's some things that for whatever reason, like if something's rattling around and I can't figure out an answer, I'll use like a ChatGPT or a Google AI and ask the question, right? And don't get me wrong, it's like a tool like anything else these days, right? So I didn't it was funny because she was asking like Google AI about tough questions, interview questions, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I don't fault Angie at all for using Google AI. It's just
I don't either.
It's a tool.
Now here is Garver, the pitch. No, but here was the context of it. So
my issue with Angie Mentic is terrible in the booth.
No. Even Aaron Goldsmith will tell you that, because when I took a few seconds to look at the clips of the games, she's like saying something, and Aaron Goldsmith's like, okay, here's the next pitch. Like literally. We're at 1-0. The pitch.
There's a double for Arozarena.
Well, I'm already on there, and we got 1-1. Well, the other controversy was that the game was believed when she was doing the AI. That was in response to the Mariners blowing a 6-2 lead in the 9th inning by Andres Munoz. But it turned out that video was actually in September. So there was a lot of inaccuracies with the reporting or with whoever was doing it. But I think what made the situation worse was then it all of a sudden turned into a political issue between both sides. And I'm like, no, this is just about AI, not about whether someone thinks a woman should be working or the other one is, why are you it was just a huge mess. And it was basically being used as another excuse for the left and right to fight each other. And I was like, that's not what it's all about.
I saw that. And that's the thing as well too. I saw that too, and I didn't engage in that because it made no sense. But the reality is, it's like I didn't understand what the big deal was. I was actually asking the question is like, when did this get normalized? Like, when is it okay just to record somebody just for the sole purposes of dunking on somebody because they're using AI? You know what I mean?
It's like 1 the pitch. That's going to be
It
a
made
foul.
no
The
sense at
biggest
all.
issue, the biggest issue was just someone doxing someone on someone's phone. Like if someone did that to me, I'd be like, "Hey, f off, get out of here."
I would too. I wouldn't be, because if you ask me like, hey man, I'm gonna do this because I want to get clicks or whatever, and if you came up and asked me, yeah, maybe I might
swing and a miss, strike three, down goes Garver.
Maybe I might say, maybe I was gonna say like if somebody came up to me just and asked, maybe I might say yes, maybe I might not say no, but I would appreciate you actually doing that. But the fact that you're just peeking over somebody's shoulder, you know what I mean, just recording somebody, just so you can post it on the internet, dude. I think it's absolutely classless. I got to be honest with you. But that being said, we live in a time where that's been normalized now, and I just can't remember when that became acceptable.
The reason why I had a problem with both sides making it such into a political issue, it just took away like the context of what really happened. So because of all of that, it took me like an extra half hour just to dig up and see what it really was, and it was just some poo-poo sneaking up on someone's phone. But then they tried to, but it didn't help that a few others made their tweets, which escalated it when they really didn't have to. And it's not like, and no one was going after Angie Mentic for her stroke. They were just going after her. People just naturally don't like her just because she's more suited for that desk job. Like when she was doing the desk, she was doing just fine. But when it was color, like again, Aaron Goldsmith's going to say, no, give me the hyphen, or give me Dave Valley.
Mike Flowers.
Poor Mike Flowers. I missed that guy too.
Yeah, and it's like that was my issue with it all, because she just wasn't really good as the play-by-play.
There were even people that went as far as saying, just give me Shannon Drayer over Angie Mentic. That's how far it went.
What's funny about it though is, like, I remember at the time when it happened, I was like, send her to Tacoma for a season. Send her to the minors and let her work with home dude down in Tacoma. The guy that's been there forever. God, what's his name? He's been there forever. And just let her work with that guy for a full season, and just let her get some games, and let her work out some of the kinks, and then I'm sure she'd be okay. Like, that's why we have the minor leagues. You can also do it with the broadcast as well too. And that was the thing, is like they put her in the booth and she actually hadn't even done it on a part-time basis. And then all of a sudden she was in the broadcast booth, and she just wasn't good. And I had the same take. It's like, when she was doing the pre and post, she was actually really good.
Yeah. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Cole Young, throw to first in time.
Oh yeah,
no, I think everyone would say that she would do. Just don't say it to Jen Mueller. Like, just don't say it to her, because Jen Mueller will totally let you know how she feels if you say anything about to Angie Mentic. Just don't say it to her, because they're like besties.
Yeah, I like Jen. She was always nice to me.
She is not with the Mariners anymore. She is now focusing on just Seahawks.
Okay. Is she still does she work with the Seahawks for their broadcast? What's she doing these days?
She's just doing that sideline reporting, like the Michelle Tafoya kind of role. She's been doing that the entire time. And she even did sideline reporting for the Seattle Supersonics on its twilight days too. Didn't even know that either.
I remember that.
Now the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball foul. No, but I think the best combination was either these two. It was either Dave Niehaus and Ron Fairley, or Rick Riz and Dave Valley were my favorite combos. As we're at 0-2. Now here's the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. I miss. But yeah, but seeing Rick Riz eventually going to be leaving, Dave Niehaus passes, it reminds me how much I really miss all those guys back then. And Ron Fairley's no longer with us too.
I know. It sucks.
We're at 1-2. The pitch. Like Ron Fairley would go, all Brian Wu has to do to get Corey Seager out, he just has to pitch one more strike.
Yeah, Ron Fairley. By the way, Ron Fairley was a great dude. I used to chit chat with Ron Fairley quite a bit. He was the type of dude that will literally talk your ear off for hours if you let him. He was great though. He was great.
1-2. I think people also didn't realize how much chemistry he really had with Dave Niehaus. Like you could tell they really enjoyed each other's company. That's why it was so fun.
When Ron was stepping in for Niehaus, every once in a while he was always the color guy, but every once in a while he would have to do the play-by-play because Niehaus was off doing something, and he would step in, and he was terrible, but he was entertaining though. He was super entertaining, but he was bad.
There you go. See you later.
See you later. See you later.
We wish Dave was there for that one.
Oh yeah. What is this drama? Oh, it's just the Angie Mentink thing that's
a situation that it basically blew up for basically no reason.
Yeah, because some dude recorded her over her shoulder using like Google AI to ask
The
questions,
pitch.
like tough baseball interview questions or whatever. And a lot of people were looking at it like, she's kind of dumb and whatever the case may be. And me personally, I didn't see anything wrong with it outside the fact that some dude was just peeking over her shoulder and recording.
That's going to be a foul ball. I mean, I think most people would agree that was like not necessary. There was no reason to attack her for that, but she still should take constructive criticism, at least for her color commentating ability. That one, everyone can still agree with, except her best friends, of course, and her husband.
Yeah.
Now the pitch, swing and a miss, strike two.
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to put Angie on blast like that. But
I didn't hear it.
But I said I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to put Angie on blast like that. Prior to her marriage, where there's no need for that. She's been through enough already.
I didn't hear it. The 1-2. Up
let's
high
just
for
say
a ball.
When she was still our Lottie, yeah, I'm still not going to say it, but I'm still not going to talk about it. But yeah, she got thirsty. She had her thirsty era back in the late 90s.
I didn't hear it either. I didn't say it. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Another 1-2-3 inning for Brian Wu, and Brian Wu is telling us to be quiet.
Look at Brian
Wu. We're going to go into the bottom of the fourth, and you know what? We're playing a game. You go first.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about this one. Okay, so played third base for the Tigers. Okay, so for the Tigers, Braves, Brewers, Dodgers, Brewers, Rockies. Shit, that's a good one. All right. That's a crazy one. Damn. All right, hold on.
We got to do quick because you only have until end of commercial break.
I know. So let's go. All right. So third baseman that played for the Brewers and the Braves. Let's go for let's go for Russell Branyan.
On the
Brewers and the Braves. Brewers
and Braves.
Yeah, Russell Branyan.
Russell the Muscle. Nope.
All right. How about Brian Anderson?
It depends. There's a lot of them. Is that the 93 to 2005?
Yeah, maybe.
Nope.
All right. How about Eddie Matthews?
Or is it that Eddie?
He's going to be old timey.
Oh, Eddie Matthews, 52 to 60. Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Damn it. All right. So Tigers, Braves. Let's go for Gio Urshela. There you go.
There we go.
Boom. All right. Let's go Tigers and Dodgers, huh? The Doyers.
And we are back from the break. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. You know what? It's just Connor Joe
Zach Mc-
anyway.
How about Zach McKinstry?
Zach McKinstry.
Yeah. There you go.
And now the pitch.
Boom.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Ooh. Tigers and Rockies. Let's see. How about Howard Johnson?
That'll do. Now the
Boom, there you
0-2.
go.
Low for a ball.
Damn. So Brewers and Braves, huh? That's a good one. You gave me a hard one. Let's go Wes Helms.
Now the pitch, and it's going to be foul ball. For which one? Braves and
Brewers, Braves. Yeah, Brewers, Braves. Wes Helms. There you go. Ooh, there you
That'll do
go.
it. We're at
Brewers
1-2.
and let's go. Brewers and ooh,
And the pitch.
Dodgers, huh?
Check swing. Did he go? He did not.
How about Josh Donaldson?
Nope.
Damn.
Got one more.
How about Aramis Ramirez?
Now the pitch. And that's going to be ball 3. Aramis Ramirez. You did not. So you got a 5-12.
All right. So how about Brewers and Rockies? How about Jeff?
Oh, it's over. Yours is done. Now the pitch.
Damn.
There's going to be a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit, fair ball. Actually knocks down the umpire, and Connor Joe will actually get a base hit.
Oh, wow, dude. Everybody's getting hits today.
Especially the bottom feeder hitters.
Yeah, so that's the thing, Cloud Hopper, right? That's the problem is I blame social media and also the fact that some of these young kids are coming up that haven't necessarily learned what the true definition of respect is. But that being said, man, I grew up at a time where we actually had to learn it the hard way.
Yeah, by fists in the face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sometimes you had to get your ass kicked.
And there were a time where in order to make friends with someone, I had to be enemies with them first. Sometimes how it works.
Yeah.
Now here's going to be a fly ball belted the deep, not so deep center field and marine layer. And then Connor just go to first base. And we are going to propose to bring back the fences, aren't we? That's just great.
That's funny. And
now
we are back. Sorry about that.
And now here is Cole Young, and now the pitch, and that's going to be right in there for a strike.
Yeah, I saw the umpire going down. That was hilarious.
As we're at 0-1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. See, that's my problem with social media is there is no accountability. People can just be the worst versions of themselves on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah, I realized I had to learn that the hard way through a fellow. And then once we got to talk to each other, I was like, dude, we're not that much different. We actually have tons in common. As we're at 1-1.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
First.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I know who you're talking about.
Just don't say the name. Just don't say it.
No, like I here's the thing, right? I go back with that dude all the way to like 2010, 2011, and that dude has no class. And the funny thing about it is he's the type of guy that has no problem talking about somebody. But when you do it back, when you give it back to him, he's the type of dude that cries foul. Yeah, I don't like it. It goes both ways. It's like you can't have one without the other. By the way, the smartest guy in the room isn't the one that's talking.
We're at 2-1. What I'll give to him though, he can write the 2-1. Like he's got the writing skills. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I don't read his Husky blog.
Oh, as we're at 2-2.
The Huskies.
I mean, you don't like the Huskies, so you're a Cougars. I mean, then
Yeah, for sure.
we're at
Always.
2-2, and the pitch. And I do have my lifelong regrets of not going to an Apple Cup before the NIL ruined everything.
Or before Washington bounced on the Pac-10, Pac-12.
Yep. Now that tradition's gone, you're not going to Eastern Washington. You're not going to Pullman on that beautiful snow drive. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Now we got 2 outs.
Well, now the Apple Cup's like early in the season.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a UW alumni. 2 of my kids are UW alumni. But no,
You know what? When I went to UW, and one of my best friends is a Cougar. So
I'm proud of them. I mean, as far as like college graduates in our family, there's
now here's gonna be a fly ball to left field, and it lands in a glove, and that's gonna be retiring the side. But hey, Connor Joe gets a base hit finally, and the Mariners are still up 3-0.
Yeah, like as far as like college graduates on my side of the family, there's not a lot. So when 2 out of 3 of my sons graduated from the University of Washington, I was happy for them.
Yeah. There we go. Oh,
I
now it's
told
my
them-
turn.
I told them, by the way, like while they're in college, I won't talk shit about the Huskies, but now that they're no longer there, it's fair game. Ooh, here we go. Oh, this should be easy for you. Yeah, this should be easy for you. Pedro. Yeah, that'll work too.
That's too easy.
Yeah, that's too easy.
I could have said Felix too.
Yeah, you probably could have.
Roger Clemens. Let's say Felix. I think he had a 40 WAR. Oh yeah.
See, you had such an easy go with this one.
It's not even fair, isn't it?
Not really. Yeah, the big train, yeah.
No, the train did not get it. I'm gonna try.
Train won a Cy Young.
Not even Lefty Grove.
Who won a Cy Young and is in the Hall of Fame? How about Sandy Koufax?
No, I'm not cheating.
Or Donnie Drysdale.
Juan Gonzalez. 348. I won, but that was too easy.
Yeah, it was way too easy.
That wasn't even fun.
Yeah, dude, I could have done that in my sleep. Let's see. Yeah, I am a proud father. I'm happy for them. They're in their careers now. Well, my middle kid is still not working, although he's got a degree in stats. He could easily get a job. He's just too busy being 22, shuttling back and forth to the beach in LA, having a good time. He's just doing his thing. Still living with his mom. That being said, so is the older kid too. He's still living with his mom too. My ex-wife. But that being said, housing in the Pacific Northwest isn't cheap anymore.
Nope. It's been proven. No minimum wage worker can sustain anything unless you're living with like 10 other people, and who wants to do that?
Yep. And what's funny is like post-divorce, I was making like 80K, and I still couldn't do it. So I had to move, and I'm glad I did, because the first thing I did when I got here was buy a house.
So we're at 1-1.
Besides, Rooftop Sports has this diehard Astros fan, rightfully so. So
that's going to be swinging a miss, strike 2.
So Cloud Hopper's an Astros fan?
No, he's referring to Josh.
Oh, Josh. Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
the best
I actually
Astro
don't mind
fan.
Josh.
No, Josh is cool.
I don't mind Josh. For an Astros fan, he's not a dick. Usually, every Astros fan that I've ran into, they got this air of superiority. Never mind the fact, historically, the Astros have been absolutely garbage. They've been garbage until they moved to the American League West, and then they got a competent GM that knew how to build a team.
And AJ Hinch.
And then they had a cheat for 3 of those
1-2.
titles.
And swing and a miss, strike 3.
That's funny. He says, poor Josh has vanished ever since the series sweep. Has anybody done a welfare check?
Oh, poor Josh. All
Yeah, no,
Astros fans are dicks, but not all of them. I know Mariner fans that can be.
Yeah, well, by the way, man, there's a lot of Mariner dicks too. What I will say is, like, let's keep it in historical context, right? Because the Astros haven't been anything until they moved to the American League West. Outside of that one World Series appearance when Roger Clemens and I think Andy Pettitte was playing for them, I think they made a run to a World Series one year, got beat. But outside of that, they haven't been good.
Now here is Jock Peterson. And check swing, did he go? He did not.
I think they got like the benefit of having like the number 1 pick for like 4 straight years because they were that bad. And all of a sudden they got really good.
Now we're at 2-0. I mean, every sports team has the dicks. And now the 2-0. And that's going to be 3-0 for Jock Peterson. Also,
who's like Who's like the worst baseball fan base in the country?
They always say it's Philadelphia for some reason. They say Philadelphia's up there. The 3-0
I don't know what's
in the pitch.
What's fun?
That's a strike.
Like only in the last couple of years have Dodger fans gotten inseparable, but like historically, Dodger fans were always cool, except when they're playing the Giants. That's the only time they got out of pocket, obviously.
I don't like Giants fans either. The 3-1.
Here's the thing, right?
Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Rivas. Throw to first in time, and that will get Jock Peterson. Now it's going to be 2 outs.
Yankee fans for a while there were the worst because they expected nothing but rings. But then they went on that historical run without getting to a World Series for like a decade. And then that at that stage they kind of came back to earth a little bit, when the earth didn't revolve around them. And they actually got a nice little taste of what it's like not to actually win. Essentially what I'm saying is they got
the likable villains.
They became the likable villains, but they got a taste of what it was like to be a Mariners fan for once.
Yeah, those Yankee fans, they were quite something, especially when you put them in that old Yankee stadium. Like watching a Yankees playoff game against the Mariners was like watching a horror movie. Now the pitch,
I will say, yeah, Red Sox fans are obnoxious.
And now here, who's got it? And Cole Young's got it. And that's going to retire the side. And again, a 1-2-3 inning.
That's funny. It's like that one friend who's got the weirdest taste in foods. It's actually pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, that's funny. But I will say, like, the worst fan base in U.S. professional sports has to be Cowboys fans. Cowboys fans act like they're. Yeah, because they always act like they're coming off a Super Bowl win every single year. And they're like, all right, we're about to go 13-3 and win the Super Bowl again. It's like, dude, you guys, the last time that you won a Super Bowl, I was a sophomore in high school. Like, that's how long it's been.
The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, I was binging on Toy Story.
Well, yeah, it's been that long. That's what I'm saying. And yet yet their fans are acting like, the Super Bowl is their God-given right. And for the fact that, Jerry Jones is now getting to the point where he can't even eat solid foods anymore, let alone put together a competent football team. And yet these fans are like, it's another Super Bowl win for us. And it's like, dude, come on now. And you know what I like about Cowboys fans? They're so brave that they'll put like Super Bowl, like whatever we're in now, Super Bowl 55, 60. I have no idea what it is, but
Champions.
what they'll do is they'll put like, they'll tattoo it and it'll be like Super Bowl 60 champions and they don't even make the playoffs.
Never met a. I have. We all have.
I have. Yeah.
I've met,
by the way,
the most down to earth fans I've experienced are Sonics fans. I think they're the more down to earth people.
Sonics fans are the best, man. So the funny thing is, like when Mike Holmgren was coach of the Seahawks and the Seahawks became like the cool thing in town where everybody went to the Seahawks game, even people that didn't even know how the rules of football played. They just showed up because like at that point in time, and even during the Pete Carroll era, that's when they became insufferable, right? They became insufferable. Like
it was Snyder. Now here's gonna be a ground ball right to third base, throw to first. It's gonna be in time.
And like you were cool if you went to a Seahawk game and you were considered a 12 and you took a 12-y and all that insufferable nonsense, right? That was like at the peak of like insufferable Seahawk fans. But I haven't been there in a few years now, so I have no idea what's going on now. But I'll tell you what, though, back in the 90s, yeah, the real ones were at Key Arena with the Sonics. Yeah, you had all walks of life.
Oh no, here's a fly ball to left field. Foul.
Yeah, I used to go with I used to go to Sonics games with like a crew of 3 other dudes, and we'd always sit up way up high because tickets were like $5. I remember when C-Webb got drafted by the Warriors, and so we would go watch C-Webb play right out of college. But then he was with the Kings, and so when the Kings would roll through like on a Wednesday night, we'd be at Key Arena, and it'd be like half empty because the Sonics were trash at that point.
What's your favorite "Who am I" question I got? Which one was your favorite?
See, the one from a couple days ago, right? Because I was
Michael
like,
Cage?
is that no, because I was asking you if that was Dana Barros or somebody else because you're going back to a uniform style that was like from like 83 to
Oh no, it's gonna be a ground ball right to shortstop, throw to first. It's gonna be in time, and now it's gonna be Julio Rodriguez up to the plate.
Yeah, because that uniform style was only around for like 10, 11 years. So there was like a small window of whoever wore that number. And it was like, the answer was like Dana Barros. And I was like, it's either Dana Barros or somebody else. And you're like, no, it was Dana Barros. So I was like, all right. So I was kind of right. That was a tough one. The other one I got right. The other one I got right away. And it's, by the way, Michael Cage is easy to point out because he rocked the Jerry curl for like 15 years.
He did.
He rocked the same.
I heard he was known to be an undersized hustler big man.
I'm trying to remember. Was Michael Cage?
He was 6'9".
I think he was. I think he was. Yeah, I think you're right.
Man, I should have signed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I should have signed him onto my Sonics team for at least one more game for nostalgia, craps and giggles on my Sonics team.
I think it was that 88, 89 Sonics team that had Michael Cage, and it had Xavier McDaniel, and it had Derek McKee and Dana Barros and Tom Chambers. Yeah, that was actually kind of a raw. That was actually a raw squad.
As we're at 0-2. I actually met Horace Grant a couple weeks ago, and I got to actually talk to him for 5 minutes. And the one thing he told me, Nate McMillan said that the Sonics should have never traded him for Patrick Ewing. They said that was a mistake. They said Horace Grant was a better fit for that offense. Patrick Ewing was too slow to keep up. So you had Gary Payton, Vin Baker, Desmond Mason, Rashard Lewis crossing the court, and they're just waiting for Patrick Ewing to get across.
Well, yeah, but Ewing was in his last year anyways, right? Like that was like the last go round for Ewing. Of course he was slow. Horace, I think, stayed around for a couple more years.
Here's going to be a liner, and that's going to be a base hit. He was actually a power forward for Shaq in the next season, so he was actually a contributor. So he played all the way till 03-04, so he still had at least a couple decent years left. So, I think maybe the Sonics with Horace Grant, maybe they squeak into the playoffs as like a 7th, 6th, maybe 5 seed.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Horace or even Dennis Rodman post Bulls at Seattle for at least a couple seasons. Like Dennis still wasn't a still not like
pitch.
It's gonna be the head case that he was with the Lakers or the Mavericks or anything like that. But we might have gotten something out of Dennis like in 97, 98, maybe.
Yeah, I met him too, and with the limited time I had to talk to him, because of course when Dennis Rodman's there, it's gonna be a big ass line. People probably flying from Chicago just to see him. And now the 0-1, swing and a miss, and that's gonna be strike 2. And the little time I had with him, I told him, hey, you should have been the 96 Finals MVP. He goes, yeah, I get that all the time, but it's MJ.
The funny thing is, I was having a conversation.
The pitch. Now here's a flying ball belted the deep left field. Is that fair? That is gone. That is a home run for Randy Arozarena, and the Mariners keep extending that lead. It's going to be 5-0, and it was fair. Hit the foul pole, and the Mariners are just running away with it, 5-0, and that just seemed to come out of nowhere. But a huge 2-run home run by Randy Arozarena, especially with 2 outs.
Wow, they just blew it wide open too. Oh wow,
El
look at that.
Rando Grando.
Yeah, what's funny is like I was having a conversation with my guy at work about the proposed Sean Kemp for Scottie Pippen trade that was in the works, and what was interesting about it was like the availability of what
There it is right there down the line. Dink.
home run. The availability in salary, if flexibility that the Sonics would have got on top of the fact that they would have gotten an extra first round pick out of that deal too. And it's like, and you have essentially a top 50 player of all time back on your squad. So GP and Scottie Pippen. And then,
But what would you have
Who
done
knows
if
what would-
Detlef? And you probably would have put Scotty at 4 and Detlef at the 3. So it would have been like an up and down tempo team.
or you bring Detlef off the bench for high rotation minutes though. But you still have
Who's your power forward? Sam Perkins?
Sam Perkins until you bring in somebody else, right? So that's the whole thing. It's like the availability of what you could do in free agency on top of whatever draft. Now, depending on the fact that, here's the problem with this whole conversation is that Wally Walker was the GM. So Wally Walker was the GM. So you're banking on Wally.
Jerry Krause offered a first round pick on top of Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, it was Sean Kemp for Scottie Pippen and a swap of first round picks.
Oh my
So
God,
it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered because we were drafting low in the draft anyways, right? Because we were literally the 2 best teams in the NBA, right? So we're not talking like a lottery pick or anything like that. But that being said, it's like, so you're looking at your front court flexibility. So if the Sonics went out and use that pick or traded that pick in a future number 1 to bring in yet another power forward, and all of a sudden now you're running with a front court of whoever is your new power forward with Scottie Pippen and Gary Payton, and you have Detlef in rotation and you have Sam Perkins in rotation. Now all of a sudden, you got a top 50 player of all time in your starting 5.
Now here's going to be a fly ball, and that is going to be landing in the glove of Wyatt Langford. That's going to retire the side, but the Mariners come away with another 2-run inning by Randy Arozarena off the foul pole.
But as
no one would have expected that.
Word leaked to sports radio, and Barry Ackerley came downstairs and shut down that deal because Sonic fans were up in arms of the idea of Sean Kemp. Of Sean Kemp getting traded to the Bulls.
But now we can say in hindsight that should have been done.
That should have been done. Scotty would have gotten paid in Seattle.
Here's a better one. How about here's a better one. The Sonics almost traded for Clyde Drexler, but Wally Walker was too scared of trading with a division rival with the Portland Trailblazers. And all they had to do was just give up Kendall. All they had to do was give up Kendall Gill for Clyde Drexler.
See, I would have done that in a heartbeat. And don't get me wrong, by the time 93, 94 came around, like Clyde was in his in his twilight. I think Clyde went to the Rockets for a few more years.
He did.
But that being said, it's like, don't get me wrong, he won 2 championships with the Rockets. But imagine they went back to back.
They did, but Clyde Drexler was on the 95 team. They traded him. Yeah. It was with the Otis Thorpe.
That's right. So imagine having a big 3 with Clyde Drexler running the 2 and a young Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, and then they traded for Sam Perkins anyways, and they got Detlef. That team's winning a championship.
So let's say you're probably winning over the Lakers, and probably maybe Clyde Drexler would have gotten a few more wins too.
Well, so think about this, right? So Jordan leaves after the 93 season, right? So 93, 94, that was our best year. That was our best year to win a championship when Jordan was gone. and we crashed out against the Nuggets in the first round of that playoff. So imagine if you had a starting five that was literally, GP, Clyde Drexler, Detlef, Sean Kemp.
But it was for 94-90. It was for 94-95. It wasn't for 93-94.
All right. Well, yeah, we get past the Lake. Yeah, we still win a championship though. Now, granted, we have to get through the Houston Rockets that season.
But they don't have Clyde.
They don't have Clyde, but they still have Cassell and they still have Ori though. That's
they
still
were
a good
struggling
team.
Throughout that season. They were still struggling.
But that means we get
for Evan Carter.
But that means we get what? Shaq and Penny.
And now it's going to be popped up, and who's got it? And now J.P. Crawford makes the catch, and it's going to be one out. So they would have had to go through the Lakers, which they probably could have, and then because also it would have happened because by that point Kendall Gill was actually coming off the bench. Nate McMillan got the start. That's how bad it was getting.
Right.
Right. So then you go up against the Phoenix Suns, who were 59-23 versus 57-25. So that's probably a 7-game bloodbath series. Then you have to go up against the San Antonio Spurs MVP David Robinson. Now here's going to be a liner to right field, and that's going to be a base hit, and Josh Smith gets on base with a single.
Yeah, but still though, the Sonics at that point still get past it though. Yeah, you're probably right. There's a couple 7-game series in the mix. But that being said, by the time they get the finals, though, they got what? Shaq and Penny.
Orlando. That would have been a tough team. And their Achilles heel was the center. But the Achilles heel was the center.
Yeah.
So you would have had like 40-year-old Bill Cartwright, or maybe Irvin Johnson, or Sam Perkins at center going up against Shaq. Yeah, the pitch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a strike. It's probably EJ Irvin Johnson, a young Irvin Johnson. But that being said, though, it's like you probably would rotate Shaq Kemp on Shaq. Not that it helps or anything like that. But that being said, it's like the question is like when you think about that Orlando Magic team, it's like they had Derek Anderson.
And they had a couple nice ballers.
And who's got it? Someone's got to talk. And Connor Joe makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 away. And by the way, Brian Wu had retired 16 in a row, and he's only going to be approaching to 60 pitches. Yep. So what a game so far for Brian Wu.
He might go 7 here.
I think he'll go 7.
And he's got a nice little 5-run lead here. I like this.
And if he is at a really good pace, I'd see if he can try to challenge the complete game so you can rest your bullpen, because Mariners don't have a day off until Thursday.
Yeah.
But at least they will still be home against the A's. That'll be tough. The pitch to Nimmo. That's going to be a foul ball. Sacktown, the homeless A's.
The homeless A's. I see that their uniform actually says Sacramento now.
They finally embraced it.
I think so. But the year though was 93-94. The first year Jordan took off, right? When we lost
that one, they should have won. They should have won that one.
Because we would have handled the Knicks in the finals.
First you would have went. So you go through Denver. You probably will go through Utah because they were kind of having a down season, and then you go through.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through the Rockets, and that was prime Akeem Olajuwon one, though.
Yeah.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, but we went through the Rockets the year before in the second round.
Field. And now here's Julio, makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. And another easy inning for Brian Wu, and we're going into the bottom of the 6th inning. So I would say it would have been a 6 or 7, and then you go up against Patrick Ewing.
But you have to remember, though, we went through the Rockets in 6 the year before, even with a
7.
7, yeah, you're right. That did go 7 anyway, but we still got through them, and then we got hosed in that game 7 against Phoenix. I'll never forgive the NBA for that one. Putting the Phoenix Suns on the line 47 times in a game 7. Get out of here.
They just wanted the Barkley Jordan series.
That's exactly right. I'll never forgive the NBA for that. On top of the fact that they ripped out the team 15 years later, they ripped the team out of the town anyway.
But do you think the Bulls? You think the Sonics would have at least went 6 games against the '93 Bulls?
I think we probably beat the Bulls.
Really?
By the way, because that '93 Chicago Bull team, for as good as it was, and it was really good, it wasn't as good as the '96 Bulls. That '93 Bulls didn't necessarily have anybody to match up against Peyton in the front court.
And Hawkins.
And now here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? The reason why I think we do is because we have a young Gary Payton and a Nate McMillan that's healthy. That can at least try to D. Yep.
Derek McKee annoying Scottie Pippen.
Right. And then GP and Nate McMillan switching off against Michael Jordan.
And then you had Ricky Pierce doing the dirty work too.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like in '96, Nate McMillan was injured for the finals, so we didn't have him. And George Karl stupidly didn't match GP.
Put in Gary Payton earlier. But that wasn't the reason, though. The bigger reason was Dennis Rodman.
Rodman.
He should have been the '96 Finals MVP. Like Jordan, at best, was a 20-plus point scorer. He had 136 point game.
And that's the thing. It's like they didn't have Dennis Rodman in '93, and that's the thing. And
Dennis Rodman, he got Sean Kemp to foul out twice, and Frank Burkowski thrown out twice.
Right.
And he caused a ton of technical fouls and foul trouble. He even caused a foul trouble in Detlef Schrempf, having 3 fouls somewhere in the second or third quarter. Now here's Connor Jones. We are back from the break. Now the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, they went 57-25. Right, so this is their rotation, okay? BJ Armstrong, Bill Cartwright, Horace Grant, who, Horace Grant was still pretty good, but then it's Michael Jordan, Stacey King, John Paxton, Will Perdue, Scottie Pippen, Darrell Walker, Corey Williams, and Scott Williams. Yeah, we're getting through the Chicago Bulls in '93. All you have to do is double down Mike as best as you can. And then, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's Derek McKee versus Scottie Pippen. You allow Scottie Pippen to beat you. And at that point, Scott wasn't Scott. Scotty didn't come into his own until Jordan left.
That's who too. Now here's going to be a fly ball to center field and makes the catch. And let's not to mention that the Bulls didn't have Tony Kukoc yet, because if Kukoc was a '93 team, he would have caused more problems too. And Tony Kukoc was causing problems in '96, even with his bad shooting, but he was still more efficient than Scotty. And Steve Kerr, no one remembers that Steve Kerr shot like 3 of 28 from downtown in the '96 finals. No one talks about that.
Right, but it's like Steve Kerr was better than Jim Paxson, but that being said, or John Paxson, but that being said,
Paxson.
Yeah, but that being said, what I will say is like our rotation in '93 was way better than the Chicago Bulls. They just had Jordan.
So we're at 0-1 for JP. And now the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball.
That was the year. That still pisses me off. We lost to the Nuggets.
It's still it's still in my brain that the game that the Mariners lose is Friday. I went to that game with my best friend for his birthday. We had like 6 others on top of that. And it gets better as we're at 0-2 the pitch. It's going to be up high for a ball. So I actually play fantasy hockey, and me and my best friend, the birthday boy, squared off in the finals. And he's one of my Special Olympics basketball players as we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. We went back and forth throughout the championship, and then he finally gave me the final blow. And then the next day at the birthday party, everyone was like, "Hey, what's up, second place?" And then, of course, the champion's just laughing. He's just letting it happen. He's not even saying anything. He just lets it happen. Everyone else is like, "What's up, number 2?" The pitch.
That's funny.
And it's even better. There was a bird. There was a seagull when I was on the way to the game. It almost took a crap on me, and it barely missed me. If it hit me, that would have been perfect.
That's funny.
Oh, we got a challenge.
What's going
Oh, JP Crawford strikes out.
What's going on in the National Hockey League? I haven't checked these.
Well, Kraken missed the
Kraken.
playoffs. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they're 79 points. What about the Wings? 92 points. Okay, maybe.
Now here is Cole Young up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike.
All right, so we are in the playoffs now. So let's see. Vegas, okay.
Because we're at 0-1.
Queens.
Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to second base. Throw to first. It's going to be in time. That will retire the side. By the way, fun fact about Angie Mentic. Before she became Angie Arlotti.
That's the other way around. She was Angie Arlotti and became Angie Mentink.
Before Angie Arlotti, she dated David Segui for like a split second in the 98 season. Okay.
I'm not going to talk about it. She cycled through a lot of athletes in the 90s, not just David Segui. But again, we're not going to talk about Angie. It's well known. It's well known. But that being said, I'm glad that she calmed down. I'm glad she calmed down and met somebody that she can settle down and have some kids with. I'm glad. I'm happy for her.
Well, hopefully this portion where it's an hour and 41 hopefully doesn't go viral, because if Jen Mueller sees it, I'm dead meat.
No, you're not dead meat. I'm dead meat. I'm the one that's saying
I'll be
it.
dead. I'll be dead meat for allowing you to say it,
Nah, you're not co-signing anything. I stand on my words.
which I'm not. Okay, then
By
it'll
the-
grow your
by the-
stateside footy.
By the way, I like Jen. I like Jen a lot. She was always cool with me. I like Jen Mueller. I also think she's gorgeous as hell too. But that's just me. That's just me. I
Well,
think she kinda
she's out of my league. She's like up in the 50s. I'm fine.
You don't know what you're missing.
I do
but,
because I'm 34 and she's like in her 50s.
So what? So what?
Leave it. And she's
I
married,
saw
isn't
her.
she?
I have no idea. Yeah, I think she is. But what's so funny about it though is she was doing the cooking show with the with Seattle athletes though.
With
And-
some of the Mariners at like Logan Gilbert.
Yeah. What's so funny about it? I caught an episode. I can't remember who was on, but they had the wine glasses out and they were kind of drinking some wine on camera. And I was sitting there looking at it and I was like, oh, is Jen giving some of these guys the eye? I was like, oh, okay. I was like, is this an opportunity to get close and personal with a baseball
Not
player?
a perch.
Is that what's
All I
going on
know
here?
is the husband better have
She's
been
cool.
there, not some other camera guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I would think the
I like
husband
Jen,
was
though.
the one hitting the record button, and I would like to think that's
You
what it
hope.
was.
You hope. I hope so too.
Is where I would have
Yeah.
the 0-1
Although,
gonna be up high for a ball. Otherwise,
But
if,
yeah, no. I like Jen though. I like Jen. Shannon was cool
Right.
too. I like Shannon too. Is Shannon Dreyer still around?
she's still around. The
All right.
1-1.
Is she still working for Seattle Sports or 710 Sports or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's still there, rightfully so.
Yeah, she's good.
As much as I had some arguments with her, I don't really. It's like whatever. As we're
I
at
always
2
thought
and
she was
1,
kind of dimey. I kind of liked her.
2-1, and that's going to be 3 and 1. And Wu is approaching on 70 pitches here in the 7th inning. And don't forget,
Yeah,
I will.
he's still.
Oh, I better
Yeah,
get
he's
God
still
Bless
good.
America ready too, because usually on a Sunday they do God Bless America on Sundays. The pitch
That doesn't mean
and
you
ball
have
4.
to.
Take your. I do have to.
All right, I feel you.
Because
God. Bless America.
I mean, like, what am I gonna do? Just sit there and do nothing?
did I ever? By the way, man, did I ever tell you about? I think I might have told you about why Junior left the first time. Did I ever tell you about that?
T-Mobile
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, that's
It was
not the reason.
July 15th, 1999. first at bat, he hits a fly ball to left field, and even like Dave Neal's like, and here's a high fly ball belted. Oh, just landed in the glove.
Yeah, he used the excuse, by the way, that it was the ballpark and that wasn't the reason why he had to leave. I was told by.
Oh, you're gonna.
I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air.
Sorry,
I thought I
guys,
already told you.
Air. You did, but
I think I might have told you. Yeah,
I have to dig it. The next time you text me, I have to put a star on it.
It wasn't reported in the like.
Oh, I remember.
All the reporters knew about it, and they didn't report it, and it was widely known in Seattle. I guess you can say Seattle media. They just weren't going to report it because he was junior. But yeah, he has
the leverage.
It wasn't even the
Swing
leverage. They were asked by the Mariners not to report it.
You know what's baffling? What's mind baffling is Grant Hill got voted into the 2001 All-Star game with only playing 4 games, and somehow Ken Griffey Jr. in an All-Star game in Seattle didn't even get voted in. And I would have thought that the Seattle fans would have, unless there was like some slight bad blood, but I think it would have been nice to at least have Ken Griffey Jr. going, waving his hat. That would have been a nice little homecoming.
I think Junior was hurt that year, wasn't he?
He was, but injured players have been voted in the All-Star game.
Sure.
So it was still bizarre that he didn't at least get votes, because Grant Hill got voted in the All-Star game with only 4 games. The pitch, that's going to be up high for a ball.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit different in Major League Baseball, right? Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but generally speaking, usually how it works is they were healthy for a good portion of the first half and they got injured right before the All-Star break. So they'll still show up, but
there's going to be a liner to left field, and that's going to be a base hit. I mean, had they flipped the first half and the second half, because second half he had more of that junior season, then he would have been voted in.
Wasn't that the year that he tore his patella tendon in spring training? Was that 2001?
No, I think that's what it was. Yeah, because 2000 he got injured at the end of the season while running home.
That's right. Yeah, and I think in spring training, like I remember seeing the video, like he was crumpled up and he had torn his patella tendon, and I was like, ooh, Junior's just now breaking down. Well, and in retrospect, you wonder in retrospect if we actually traded him at the right time too.
We did. We tried it at the peak. That's how we got Mike Cameron.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Brett Tomko-ish.
I didn't mind Tomko. He wasn't great. He wasn't terrible either.
It's gonna be 0-2.
So all right. So center fielders past Junior. Okay. So you had Cameron for a couple seasons. Who replaced Cameron?
Randy Wynn.
Randy Wynn, and I think Jeremy Reed for a while.
Jeremy Reed.
And then you had
Franklin Gutierrez.
So who is your favorite post-junior center fielder?
Mike Cameron.
I was kind of a Franklin Gutierrez guy.
I'm a Cammy guy.
Who was the center fielder before Julio?
The pitch. Kyle Lewis.
No, that's right.
Dude, Kyle Lewis, Jared Kelenic, and Julio should have worked out. Imagine if that worked out. That would have been the best outfield trio in baseball.
Yeah, but Kyle Lewis just got hurt. He couldn't stay healthy.
Strike 3 called. He couldn't stay healthy, and then Jared Kelenic couldn't grow up. He just couldn't grow up.
Yeah, and now he's like floundering in AAA.
Barely batting 100. And Texas loses their challenge. You don't? No,
I don't feel bad for Jared Kelenic at all. I actually heard a story about Jared, and I was like, ooh, I don't think I can deal with that. And I heard he was just a straight up asshole in the Mariner clubhouse. Like, he thought he was the guy. Like, he really thought he was the guy, and his teammates, towards the end of it, his teammates weren't even paying attention to him. Although he did have some friends on the club, because there was a couple pictures that were because there was a couple guys that would go to Kraken games with them. right before the end, and they were always pictured. Yeah, they were always
pictured together. So yeah, there was a couple guys that he was friends with, but for the most part, there was a lot of guys that didn't like the cut of Jared's jib.
Because we're at 1-0.
I remember when he broke his broke his hand or broke his foot on the
he broke his foot for
on the
kicking
water
a cooler.
The water cooler incident. Yeah.
And they tried to get everyone to feel bad for him.
And didn't that sink the season too?
No, the Mariners actually went on they kind of went on a streak after that. Like they were kind of rallying behind that ish. But then the Mariners killed it immediately with the Paul Sewald trade. Oh, and that just hits Jock Peterson. Right. And then he is and the bases are now loaded.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were within 4 at the deadline, and we traded away Paul Sewald at the deadline. Jerry Dipoto waving the white flag, still within shouting distance of a playoff spot. That's right. That's right. I remember.
And the Mariners, I think they would have had a really good shot for the World Series because the AL competition was dead. And the National League competition was also dead because the Diamondbacks accidentally made it to the World Series. Like the Dodgers weren't. That was the pre-Ohtani Dodgers. And then the Phillies also flamed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what could have been Mariners.
If Jerry Dipoto just didn't do that trade. Because then you were left with Munoz.
Yep. A not ready Munoz. A Munoz who's probably still isn't ready.
Just too much of a setup guy. Matt Brash is your 7th inning guy. Munoz was your 8th, and then Paul Sewald was your closer. And he's doing very well with the Diamondbacks right now. Mariners could have got him back for cheap. The pitch. That's going to be a foul ball, as we do have the bases loaded with Josh Young. And with one swing of the bat, he could actually inch this game closer.
Yeah, he's back with the Diamondbacks after being traded to
the Tigers.
The Tigers, yeah. And then he ended up with the Indians, but he's back with the Diamondbacks and he's doing pretty well.
0-1. Now here's going to be a fly ball to right field. That's going to bring in the run, though. Tacking at third, and that's going to score in the run. And the Texas Rangers now get on the board on a bases-loaded sac fly by Josh Young. Now it's 5-1.
Let's see if he can get through the 7th here. He's got an out. No, he's got 2 outs now. So, yeah, okay. So let's say that he gives up 1, goes 7. Let's see if the bullpen can nail this one down.
We can only hope.
Didn't Jared Kelnick say in an interview he'd be a Navy SEAL if he wasn't? He doesn't have the discipline to be a Navy SEAL.
No,
get real.
He would get discharged by the military in like a few seconds.
Yeah, like what's funny is those Navy SEAL, those
hell weeks that they go through to actually become a Navy SEAL are so tough.
Oh no, here's a line drive right field, and that's going to be a base hit. That's going to bring in a run, and I think I might bring in another, and that is going to be now 5-2 Mariners. And all of a sudden, we got runners on second and third on a double, and now we got the tying run at the plate.
All right, crunch time for Dan Wilson. Do you stick or twist here? Do you stick with Mr. Wu, or do you go to the bullpen here?
Let's see what they're going to say. I mean, because Brian Wu is getting up there in 83 pitches. I would say at least one more. At least let him finish the inning. Matt Brash and Gabe Spire, your two best
right now.
Your two best relievers. And now here is Josh Smith, and now here's the pitch. And that's going to be missing it for a ball.
Yep.
Because now we're at 1-0.
All righty.
Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball. This will end the inning. Throw to first in time, and that's going to retire the side. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do the God Bless America. Let's see if they do.
Yeah.
If they don't, we'll skip the 7th inning stretch. Oh no, we're just gonna go to the 7th inning. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. So
Let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they had a 5-0 lead.
4, it's 1, 2,
3 strikes, you're out at the old ball
Game. And now the tradition that the Mariners killed off. Aloe, Aloe. No, said we gotta go. Yeah. Aloe, Aloe. Oh, today said we gotta go. A fine little girl. She waiting for me. No, she's not. Catch a ship across the sea. Hello, ship all alone. Okay, now we're back from the break already.
I don't know the words.
I think Simon would kick us out within 3 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's talented people where they don't even make it out of the first round. So, ooh.
Yeah, ooh. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, son.
Your singing is just not flat out not good. Get lost.
You guys
3
are
seconds might even
utterly-
be generous.
Yeah. You guys are utterly, just absolutely pathetic.
Hey, easy,
Yeah,
Simon. Your name is Simon, asshole.
You'll need to do some soul searching for the future.
You two deserve to be on American. Is that show still even on?
I don't even know,
I don't even know.
but it was.
I
a thing in
remember
the
when it came
2000s.
out, though. Yeah, I remember when it debuted. Everybody was watching American Idol.
Looks like they're seeding Matt Brash for the 8th inning. Ooh. I think they put in Gabe Spire. Now they got a lefty, and Texas really wants to keep up with the lefties. They do not want to see Luke Raley. See, that's the thing. When the Mariners play the platoon game, they're already exposing their weakness. That's why I don't like the platoon game. Because you're
You don't like the
exposing your
platoon game?
weakness. Yeah, like I don't like this whole platoon squad thing. Because they're exposing their weaknesses to the other team.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's what they say, man. Fake it till you make it.
It only works if they
I don't-
have personnel, but they don't have the personnel. And Rob Refsnyder, he got lucky.
Let's see. I don't know if it's still on either. Everyone will always remember Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, I do remember Kelly when she was at her peak.
Now
Yeah,
the pitch to
she was
Rivas.
actually-
And that's a strike.
Yeah, I remember when she was at her prime. Let's see.
And now we're at
Do
0-1
you mind
for Rivas. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball, 1-1. We'll explain it during commercial break, so let me star this one. As we're at 1-1 for the Leo Rivas. Now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike.
Last night versus Sacramento with Tacoma, Bryce Miller went a buck and 2/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, 1 mock, 33 pitches.
How about that? Look at Bryce.
As we're at 1-2.
I don't think I like
The
dude's
pitch.
name Bryce.
Oh, check swing, or it doesn't matter. Strike 3 called, and that is going to be 1 out. Now it's going to be Rob Refsnyder up to the plate.
Let's go, Leo. Leo
He's
the
already
Lion. I know. I can
Rob
dream, though.
Refsnyder, look at his batting average. He is batting 048 with 1 home run and 1 RBI when we saw that earlier. Now the pitch.
That, by the way,
Be
Jerry,
outside
that was
for
a
a ball.
dynamite pickup. That was a dynamite pickup, Jerry.
a dude that's hitting $1.40, hitting 48 cents. Not even $1.48.
Now the pitch up high for a ball. Just to think that should have signed. Just go expensive for 1 or 2 seasons. Just bring back Polanco and Suarez. Keep it. They could have just kept this thing as is, the 2-0. 3-0
or at least have
for
some
Rob
balls
Refsnyder.
at least show some balls like they did when we signed Robbie Ray. That was out of the world. That was like an out of left field signing. Didn't even see that one coming.
And then they threw him away for Mitch Haniger. The pitch. It's gonna be a foul ball. And they said that Mitch Haniger was supposed to be the upgrade for the team, the final piece to the puzzle.
That didn't work out either.
Nope. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike.
And Robbie Ray, yeah, he was actually all right last year. Looking like he's pitching pretty well this year too. 2-2 with a 2.42 ERA.
Well, now it's 3-2 for the Refsnyder.
24 Ks on the year.
The pitch. Oh, he chases it. That's going to be up to third base. The throw to first in time. And I did not like that swing by Refsnyder. For a guy that's usually patient at the plate, he really reached for it. And you're going to see it in a few moments where you're going to think, just take the pitch.
The Seattle Steelheads unis.
What are your honest thoughts on the Steelheads?
What, the uniforms or what?
Yeah, those
or
uniforms,
just the team?
pitch.
Oh,
No,
I'm not a fan.
Be careful who you say it to.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan. You know what I don't like about them? I don't like the black stripe down the sides. I don't like the black stripe.
Now it's going to be the
pants.
1-0, now the pitch. I do miss the cream tan ones. I really do miss those.
Yeah, the Sunday
little 80s
the Sunday specials.
I like the 8. They were like very 80s reminiscent.
Yeah, I was always big fan of the Sunday specials.
That's gonna be a strike.
I'm not a fan of these. I'm not a big fan of the stripe down the pants guy. But then again, I'm the same guy that doesn't like the City Connect with the black pants. I think that's kind of dumb
like
too.
2-1. Their City Connect should have been just the Seattle. Bring back the old black Seattle jerseys from '99 and 2000. They should have just brought that back.
If the pants were like the same blue as the jerseys, I would be all for it. But I don't like the black and the yellow. And I for the to this day though, I'm not a big fan of the teal jerseys either. I think those are ugly too. I didn't like them back in the 90s.
3-1. I love those, and it's gonna be popped up into right center
yeah,
field.
Pretty popular. I get it.
And the collision, and they dropped the ball, and now Cal Raleigh's going to get to first base. That's going to be an error right there.
I want them to go back to the Star and Trident days of like the early 80s. I thought those were the best uniforms. Or the black and red from the turn ahead the clock days. Those black and red jerseys that they wore, those were actually sick. Those were nice.
They did that once.
Yeah, I know. I liked them too. They were nice.
Yeah, but Butch Husky crashed into a wall.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's Butch Husky.
But those were sick uniforms, and I like them because they're completely different than what we expect the Northwest color scheme to be. You know what I mean? It's always like blue, green, white. It's like, okay, enough of these Northwest colors.
They're bringing in a righty.
Different.
So now maybe we're going to see Luke Raley. Oh, and to answer the question, platoon game means the Mariners have batters based on, they make a decision on their lineup based on who matches against. How do I, you know what, Steve? I want to hear the Steve definition.
Yeah. All right. So a platoon split is essentially two players playing one position based on the matchups of the pitcher, right? So if you have a left-handed pitcher, you're going to play a right-handed hitter. And if you have a right-handed pitcher, you're probably going to play the left-handed hitter, right? So you're going to play to their strengths and take away their weaknesses, right? And in theory, on paper, it sounds pretty good, especially if you have a left-handed hitter that, hits righties fairly decent or walks pretty well. But that being said, the Mariners just have yet to actually successfully, actually have a platoon split that actually yield dividends. Like they've tried it like at least 6 different times in the Dipoto era without having any success whatsoever. And they seem to have a better run of games when they actually have guys that can actually play the position 100 games a year. But that's a platoon split, right? So, they're doing it at third base this year because they don't have a guy, and that's why usually teams go with platoon splits because they don't have anybody to play the position. So they try to recreate the guy in the aggregate, and that's a platoon split.
It only works if they have the personnel, but they just don't have that personnel.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, the Mariners had the bases loaded when they were trying to make a comeback off of a 4-0 deficit from the Padres. They scored 2 runs, sparked by Cole Young. And then Luke Raley was going to be up to the bat, but then Padres brought in a lefty because they knew exactly what the Mariners were going to do. So they panicked, brought in a righty, Connor Joe, and he struck out immediately. And now here is Julio Rodriguez. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. And it was quite I would say something like that should have been a fireable offense for yanking your best hitter just because he struggles against lefties, but give him a chance on a game on the line situation.
The interesting thing though is like
pitch.
The funny thing is like this team now relies so heavily on advanced metrics that you take the hunches out of the game, right? So like what's funny, there used to be times where, Lou Piniella would send up a pinch hitter. And then so when the opposing manager would course correct, because if there was like, let's say they were bringing a lefty out of the pen and then, they would pinch it and bring a righty and then they would course correct to bring in a righty. Instead of Lou Piniella overcorrecting to bring in another batter, he would just have that batter drop a bunt down. Just to avoid the strikeout. You don't see these hunches anymore in baseball. You don't see these hunches at all.
It's really sad.
I think you might have tweeted about that recently. I
did. It was a very condescending troll tweet.
I didn't think it was really all that condescending, but you made your
let's bench Ken Griffey Jr. for a crappy righty because matchups.
Yeah. Yeah. There are certain guys that you don't do that, but your point was taken. It's see, that's the thing. It's like the modern game has taken they put too many bumpers on the modern game, right? It's like bowling with bumper rails, right? And I just think that there is a time for advanced analytics, but then there's also a time to go with your gut feeling and just allow a dude to swing away, even if it's lefty.
Here's the pitch to Rosarena, and that's going to be a strike. And with 2 outs, with 2 men on, I would think he wants to try to hit the home run, but I'm like, nah, just poke it somewhere, and Cal can score from there. As we're at 0-1.
It's Cal Raleigh, dog. You gotta at least double in the gap somewhere.
0-1. Now here's gonna be a ground ball, and that's not gonna get it done. The throw to first in time, and that's gonna retire the side.
OKC wins game 1 of what?
And they are the best team. They are in the NBA playoffs, and they are the best team in the NBA.
I was trying to watch an NBA game like a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't get into it. I tried watching.
Remember when we tried Game 7, and we were like, "What is this garbage?" And this was Game 7, and it was painful to watch.
Yeah, it was Nuggets Thunder. That's right, I remember that. And actually, that was you're right. That was a blowout win for the Nuggets.
It was unwatchable.
I think I was watching like Hawks versus something, like Hawks Wizards or something like a couple weeks ago, and it was just unwatchable.
I think the only way it makes it watchable is if there was a kid that jumped on the field. A ball was about to hit a kid, but Paul Konerko catches it. Paul Konerko can't save the kid's life.
Although that Shea Alexander kid, he can hoop though. I'll give Oklahoma City a little props here. They got a squad though.
They have the best GM in all of the NBA. And if the Sonics return, the first move they have to make is get GM Sam Presti away from Oklahoma Give him everything he wants.
Yeah, they got a roster. I'm not gonna lie.
They have the best roster in the NBA. It's not even close.
They went 64-18 this year. Great googly moogly. Yeah, they got Shea.
No, it's
Andrew
funny that
Aaron Wiggins.
if you just take away the whole Sonics stigma, they
AJ
are
Mitchell. Ooh.
they are a successful small market team of who does it right. If you just take the whole Sonics thing away, other than the whole Sonics thing, it's a successful small market team.
Yeah.
And Clay Bennett, I hate to say it, he is one of the best owners in the NBA. I hate saying it; it's painful, but he is.
Yeah, but you know what though? Here's what I will say is, recently during the NBA Board of Governors, when they met to approve expansion, it was unanimously approved. So Clay Bennett had to give his yes. And it looks like Clay said yes for 2 expansion teams. So that's nice of Clay. That's nice of Clay to give the thumbs up back to Seattle.
Yeah, we have championships. We have our
And
own legacy. We don't need your history anymore. That's what he'd be. So if anything, maybe Oklahoma being a good team worked in our favor.
Well, what I will say is that I never blame Clay Bennett. I had never blamed Clay Bennett because his motives were known from the jump that he was going to take the Soups down to Oklahoma City. That wasn't the issue with me. Even when those emails came out, it was at the end of the day though. I still go back to the politicians that left the Sonics twisting in the wind, and also Howard Schultz for not understanding what he was buying when he bought the Sonics at the time, and putting himself in a position where he was losing money.
The 1-2
for a smart
pitch,
guy, he was awfully
swing and a miss, strike 3. And well, don't forget he tanked the ticket prices where we were 27th out of 30th in the NBA. Had he set the prices at just 15, he would have broke even easily.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about it for a smart guy, who, billionaires aren't dumb people. They don't dumb luck themselves into to being a billionaire, right? He didn't do his due diligence on the Sonics. But that being said, though, it was you have to go all the way back to essentially the 60s to understand exactly what the city of Seattle thinks about professional sports teams, and they have historically been against financing buildings for privatized sporting teams. They historically have never been for it. As a matter of fact, it took 5 years for that levy to pass to even get the Kingdome built. In the 60s, both.
Now here's going to be a liner to right field, and that's going to be a fair ball, and that's going to get Brandon Nimmo to second base. And are you sure you wanted to put Gabe Spire? Because I always thought just put Matt Brash in there. And now we got a runner on second base. But they were going with the matchups.
Yeah, back in the 60s, both the Indians and the A's wanted to move to Seattle, and they were looking for municipal support to essentially rework 6 stadiums, and Seattle told them straight up, no, that's not going to happen. We're not giving you money. And when the pilots came online, they had to sign a deal that was so one-sided to the city of Seattle just to get funds available.
Inside for a ball. Well, you can thank Slade Gordon. He was the one that really steamrolled the entire thing, the whole Kingdome thing. So he was a huge part of why we have 2 teams. And
for sure.
Fun fact, he is also the last Republican senator in the history of Washington to hold a seat in the federal government.
Yep. Slade. His legacy is locked though.
And if you're going to, and if he was going to be the last Republican senator, it might as well be Slade Gordon. So at least his name is still valuable. The 1-1,
and he tried to save the Sonics in the 11th hour.
When he was on retirement, he wasn't even working. He came out of his house and go, I'm saving the Sonics, and he did try.
Yep. Yeah, so when the Ackerleys got the bond issue to remodel Key Arena, it was done on the cheap in order to get that money. They had to sign the worst lease in sports history. That was a
A
bad lease.
15-year
but-
lease.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about that lease though was that at the time, NBA contracts were getting bigger, but they weren't crazy to the point where the Sonics couldn't compete. And then that lockout of 98, 99 brought in max contracts, and that was the end of it. And that's the thing is like Barry Ackerley had the foresight to see where the thing was going, and he got at it right at the right time. And what's funny about it is, so Howard Schultz comes in, buys the team, and then when he realizes that he's not making money,
2-2. He
goes
panic
to
sold.
he goes to the Seattle City Council and he's like, let's rework the lease. And Seattle's like, no, we're good. Not at all. Like we're making money here. And they're like, no, we're good.
Even
Seattle.
after their playoff run of 2004, 2005 wasn't enough.
Nah.
The 2-2. And that's going to be they could have won a championship last year and they wouldn't have cared.
I think that's a little bit different because the sentiment's a little bit different, right?
Oh, so you think
Because
if they
that's
had
how-
like a 95 kind of run, then they
Yeah, for sure. Because that's what ultimately pushed Safeco Field through after the voters voted it down, and then they had that playoff run, and then what's his ass Gary Locke got something done after the fact to
2-2.
get that building put up.
pretty much did that under the table.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like during that time from like 99 to 03, 04, the Sonics were such a bad product, though. They were terrible. They were just not a good product, and there was no interest in the Sonics at that
3-2.
stage because the Mariners
Be a
were
foul
good.
ball. Seahawks
You know,
were on the
it's-
rise.
Seahawks were on the rise. Huskies were good.
Ish.
Well, they went to a Rose Bowl in 2000, 2001.
Yeah, the new
Marcus-
Heisel years were fine, yeah.
Yep, under Marcus
3-2.
Tuiasosopo.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, down goes Seager, and that's going to be 2 outs.
And the Sonics had like a never-ending rotation of the 11th pick, and we had centers. We could never figure out the center position. We went through like Johan Petro,
Robert Swift,
and
Zaire
Calvin
Sene.
Booth. Yes,
Calvin Booth was a
Sene.
free. The best one out of them was Jerome James.
Yeah, Jerome James. Yeah, I remember Calvin Booth, the king of the pick, but no roll. I used to go to
pitch.
Key Arena and shout at him.
That's going to be a
Because
strike, and Wyatt Langford, he is calling for a challenge.
He would always pick, but he would never roll to the basket. You got
Let's
to
see what he's getting. Yep, that was an easy challenge right there.
Sonics gave him like $55 million too.
They did.
That was a bad contract. Then again, they gave Jim McIlvain 35. Oh yeah,
Don't
Potato
forget-
Potapenko. Yeah, Vitaly Potapenko. Yes,
I
actually,
pronounce him as Potapenko, the 1-0.
by the way, yeah,
Have he
Potato
popped up?
Potapenko.
He was the best
the
free
way-
throw shooting center, and by the way, makes the catch, Ref Snyder, and that's going to retire the side, and it's going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning.
By the way, Potapenko wasn't all that bad. He wasn't great. Like let's understand, like he wasn't an all NBA center, but considering we've had so many bad centers at that stage, at least he was serviceable. Like he wasn't great. Like I'm not going to sit here and say that he was good, but at least he played hard, and at least he tried.
His effort.
Yeah, he
His
had
name is
effort.
catchy. Vitaly Potapenko. And he had a decent jumper, and he could make his free throws.
Yeah, so here we go. Vitaly Potapenko had 3 full seasons in Seattle. Let's see. Let's look at his PPG here.
It wasn't
Where
great,
we
I can
at?
tell you that. And I already burned him for the Who Am I? I used him. Vitaly Potapenko.
He averaged okay, never mind. Maybe I just remember the best of Vitaly Potapenko. Let's see what we got here. So he averaged what in Seattle? He averaged So he averaged 5 and 3 as a big man. Okay.
5-3. 5 points, 3 rebounds a game. Okay, never mind.
He had a
Never mind.
7-4 season in 2003-2004 season.
See, yeah, that's right. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, compared to Sine, Swift, and Booth. And by the way, you leave Robert Swift's name out of your mouth. That was my guy, man. The Hick from Bakersfield, California. Robert Swift was my dude. He just got injured.
He had pure talent. I'll give him that. He had talent.
I used to have a Robert Swift jersey. Swifty was my guy.
Well, here's the jersey I've got. I have a Desmond Mason jersey.
Yeah, in his second season, right there, 2005, 2006, Robert Swift averaged 6 and 5.
Actually, not bad.
And
For
he
a guy that only had 20 minutes.
Yeah, in 20 minutes, he averaged 6 and 5 and 20. Started 20.
Now here's the pitch to Garver. It's gonna be swing and a miss.
Yeah, and then he got hurt, man. He was out for 06, 07 because he got hurt. He had that knee injury.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
a 6
Swifty-
and 5 with 1.2 blocks. So that's actually not bad. And
That's
now
actually not bad at all.
If he was
Yeah,
a second round pick, that would have been a steal pick.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. He was like at the back end of the lottery, and we took a flyer on him. And the funny thing about Robert Swift is, like in his rookie season, he was a beanpole, right? He had to get some weight on him, and he did. And in that second season, that progress actually showed. And then he had that knee injury, and he was wiped out, and that was it. That was it for his career. That's the thing. It's like 7-foot centers. Knee injuries are
Not a
kryptonite.
pitch.
It's what killed
And
Greg
that's
Oden.
going to be yeah, it is. He's his per 36 in the 2005-06 season on his per 36. He has 11 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So
Yep.
at least serviceable.
Yeah, like if he stayed healthy, Robert Swift would have developed. I'm 100% certain of it. If he did,
It
if he
wasn't a
stayed
bad
healthy.
pick. It was just he should have been developed better. Because we're at 1-1, and now the pitch, and that's going to be a ball 2-1.
And I think he actually ended up post career. I think he ended up getting hooked on drugs and stuff like that. It was a pretty sad thing that happened to him.
And had his home foreclose the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball.
He also trashed a home. Too, and I think it was Bellevue or Mercer Island. He was renting a house, and
he owned a house in Sammamish, the 2-2.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 3-2 for Connor Joe.
Yeah, I forgot we had Delonte too. Delonte was my guy. In a 20-minute rotation. 20-minute
and
rotation.
Ball 4, take your base. So actually a pretty decent day for Connor Joe. I think this whole maybe crapping on the entire lineup, saying that the Mariners surrendered.
I think it helped.
That's why I do it. But then all these Mariner fans, you're not a true fan. You're so negative. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I get those all the time.
Yeah, because they're happy clappers.
They were probably fans since just 22, so they never saw like our wear and tear. Now
That's right.
JP
Connor
Crawford.
Joe. That's right. He was
inside for a ball.
Okay. Connor Joe. That's right. He was with the Rockies and the Pirates. That's right. That's where I remember him from.
JP Crawford's up batting .213 with a home run. That was his first home run. The pitch up high for a ball.
He had a solid-ish year in 2023 with the Pirates. Solid-ish.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was solid, I guess.
As we're at 2-0. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a ball.
Yeah, man. What happened? Oh, that 2007-2008 team when they gutted the entire team and we get Kevin Durant and Jeff Green. Oh.
2-1.
The next couple of,
and that's going to be the go to second base, and that nearly gets away. Connor Joe gets a stolen base. Gutsy call of him.
There you go. There you go, Connor.
Now it's a 3-1 count. I'm still
Here's
curious
JP.
why they didn't. I guess they really are just resting Luke Raley. I mean, it was a very gutsy call to put in Connor Joe for Luke Raley and all those kind of guys and hand zone. but I guess it's kind of working. But they still got to get some insurance runs. You can't just go into the 9th inning with a 3-run lead. You just can't. And now the pitch, ball 4, take your base. And didn't know about this, but Crawford does well with runners in scoring position. He is 4 for 10, batting 400. So, yeah. Cloudhopper goes in hindsight. The Sonics could have drafted Big Al Jefferson or Josh Smith, J.R. Smith, Delonte West. I know.
Oh, that was such a bad team.
Hey, but have you guys experienced my Sonics series I'm doing on the Twitch? I put that in there. I do my live streaming for Sonics basketball. My Sonics went 29-53. And they have the second best odds for the number 1 pick. So it's not a bad tanking season when you're when you almost won 30 games.
What year are you in?
98-99, just completed the first season. Jerome James was my center, had Dennis Rodman, Rashard Lewis. Shooting guard, I don't even know who I got. I forgot. And then a point guard was Jamie Watson, a former slam dunk contestant in 1995 with the Utah Jazz. The pitch, that's going to be inside for a ball. I converted him to point guard.
So you had a solid front court, but you had absolutely no back court, huh? You had no
the funny
scores.
thing is, Jamie Watson actually developed. He actually was an all-star that season because of his assist. The pitch. And now here's going to be fly ball to center field. And I wonder if Connor Joe's going to go. Makes the catch, and is he tagging? Nope. He's not going to be in the range.
Also, the Trailblazers as well, Cloudhopper. You have to forget the Blazers were halfway decent in the late 90s, too, in the 2000s. With Rashid.
2000 should have been their year. If they beat the Lakers, I think they would have beat the Pacers.
I think anybody beats the Pacers. That was a good Pacer team, though.
Seattle Supersonics, had they won against the Utah Jazz, they would have had to play the Portland Trailblazers. So that would at least would have been a nice little 5-game. That would have been a nice I-5 rivalry. That would have been fun.
The interesting thing, though, is like if they had actually
the pitch,
gave shot
inside for a ball.
In hindsight, if Wally Walker had given Sean the extension, I still don't think I don't think the Sonics would have gotten back to the finals with GP and
the pitch. You think he still would have? You still think his fatness would still happen?
No. I don't think that as well, too. I just don't trust Wally Walker's ability to build a basketball team, right? Because you have to understand Detlef was aging out, Sam Perkins was aging out, and Percy Hawkins was aging out as well, too. And so from that standpoint, you have to, you still have to, have, table setters around Sean and Gary. I didn't trust Wally Walker.
Oh, they're challenging. Dan Wilson's challenging to see if he got hit. If Leo Rivas got hit. Now here's the replay. Nope. I think it just missed it.
That was a good play. That was a good Pacer team, though. That was the end of Reggie's run, though.
He had one more run in 2004, 2005, but then Ron Artest couldn't keep his cool.
Yep. The Malice at the Palace. That was actually a really good Pacer team, too. That was a really good Pacer team with Steven Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also, Steven Jackson had Ron Artest, or had someone pay attention where Ron Artest was and not just lying down in the press booth.
Yeah, and a good Jermaine O'Neal, too. A really young Jermaine O'Neal.
It was prime Jermaine O'Neal, who should have been the MVP the year before.
Yeah, he just he was like a year and a half removed from coming over from the Blazers, and I think the year before he got his first All-Star appearance. So yeah, he was just getting into his prime as a center, and he ended up getting suspended because of that.
Yeah, because he sucker punched someone along with Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson should have gotten a lot more than what he got.
No, what's funny is it's like if you watch that, some dude was coming at Jermaine O'Neal and he turned around and saw it and threw a punch. He was defending himself, but it didn't matter. He still got.
Leo Rivas is going to first base now. The bases are loaded.
There you go. Did he get hit?
And they're bringing up Luke Raley. Yes, they're bringing in Luke Raley, who hit a home run yesterday. By the way, he's leading the team with 5 home runs this season.
Did Leo Rivas get hit right there?
Yeah, well,
Oh, no.
Empire said so.
All right.
So yeah, also I have my NBA draft lottery coming up in about maybe 3 weeks. So I'm going to see if I will have the rights to draft Steve Francis. The problem is, what am I going to do with my backup point guard? He's on an expiring. Almost everyone's a free agent, but the ones I'm going to re-sign are Dennis Rodman and Jerome James. Those are my biggest priorities. Rashard Lewis actually participated in the rookie game in a 3-point shooting contest, and cancer survivor Sean Resprit, he got second in the 3-point shooting contest. That's an inspiring story. I made an inspiring story for Sean Resprit.
There you go.
Michigan man.
Who was in the Stevie franchise?
He was with the Rockets. He was out of Maryland. He was drafted number 2 by the Vancouver Grizzlies. But if I get number 1, I am highly considering Steve Francis or Elton Brand.
All right. So, here's the thing, though, right? So in the 99,
there's going to be a line. That's going to be caught right on the first pitch, and that's going to retire the side. And I got to go to the bathroom. Andres Munoz is coming on. Here's a game 1 highlight. What?
I would skip on Stevie Francis, man, because in that draft it was Baron Davis, Rip Hamilton, Andre Miller, Sean Marion.
I'm not drafting Marion, and I'll explain to you after these messages.
Ball.
That is textbook Brett Boone.
It's right there.
All right, I'm back. So you don't want me to draft Steve Francis. Well, I'm not going to draft Sean Marion because I think he just has a weird jump shot. I'm not going to put up with that.
Yeah, no. What you do is you take Baron Davis.
Nah.
You take Baron Davis was so much better than Stevie franchise. Or you take Rip Hamilton, man.
Now
Rip
pass on
was-
Hamilton.
You got Jason Terry as well too. He was also raw.
Not drafting
By
that
the way,
high.
By the way, so
I have
Steve
6 first round
Francis-
picks too.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Well, then you can get them all. I'm just saying you can fill out your starting 5 at that stage, right? But here's the thing, though, right? Stevie Francis had like a 3-year explosion, and that was it. Baron Davis was an All NBA for like 6 straight seasons. He was so good. Baron Davis was a much better player than Stevie Francis.
Yeah, but I'm not going with
See,
hindsight.
Cloud Hopper agrees with me. No, it's
Yeah,
not
but
even
I
about
can't-
hindsight.
Well, I'm not going with hindsight. I'm going with I have to make it realistic because if I really want to be realistic, I would have gone like Sean Marion number 1 but I have to make it as realistic as possible as I'm playing without a hindsight. That's how it works.
So as
Not a
realistic
pitch.
as having 6 first round draft picks.
Hey, it's something they could have done back then. I mean, Sam Presti did it.
I'm just saying, man, 6 first round draft picks.
Hey,
Come on, man.
they
At
said
most,
yes.
you got
They said
2.
yes to it, and those were off of Gary Payton, Hersey Hawkins, Detlef Schrempf, and Vin
Yeah,
Baker.
see, listen to the people that know. So here it is. Even Cloud Hopper is saying, and he is a better passer, court vision by far. Also a 20+ year NBA fantasy player. What? Baron Davis was raw.
1-2.
I would actually take.
Fly ball to right field. Is that going to be fair? That is foul.
Also, Rip Hamilton won a ring with the Pistons in 04. And Jay Smooth was one of the best perimeter shooters I've ever seen. Now, granted, he wasn't Jesus Shuttlesworth, not by any means. You know, Ray Allen was Ray Allen, but
yeah, but I'm not
Ray Allen
going with what happened. This is my own history. Like, there are going to be times I might draft that. I might bust a pick. It could happen. Now the 2-2.
Yeah, so yeah, but here's the thing,
right? He's gonna have to get to first base and to throw to first, and that is not in time. And oh my goodness, that was a strikeout. But that could be interference because the runner was in the way, so Connor Joe couldn't catch the ball. Or they're gonna call that an out? Wait, so you can be called out?
Yeah, that backcourt of Chauncey Billup and Rip Hamilton and Tayshaun Prince.
But we're talking about my team. And anyways, this game is too intense. So here is
I get you.
The Mariners got awarded with an out. And it's going to be outside for a ball. Again,
There's the moves.
I'm doing without the hindsight. I'm trying to make it realistic. That's all. Otherwise, I would be like, oh, yeah. Oh, and I'm looking at Ron Artest in the mid picks.
Yeah, Artest is a good pick, but so you're interested in trading Steve Francis in 3 years?
Possibly.
Because he's not going to lead you to a ring.
I don't know. We'll see. Depends how I coach the team too.
And you're going to end up in Oklahoma City in 2009?
I'm not letting it happen. I'm the new owner. Remember, I fired Wally Walker after he fired George Karl. I took personal offense. And then I was like, screw it. Let's just blow up the team. The 1-1. It's going to be foul ball.
Yeah, Rip was the killer, man. Sean Murray in the Matrix, man. He was awesome.
Yeah, but he has a weird jump shot.
So what? Dude was a killer.
But that's what I'm doing. That's how I evaluate. I'm doing it without the hindsight. The 1-2. Now the pitch. And Munoz cannot find a strike zone at all. Oh, he's having a bad season too. As we're at 2-2 for Andres Munoz.
I was playing NBA 2K1 on my PS5, and I recreated the Seattle Supersonics. And of course, you start off the expansion draft, and you get absolute horseshit in the expansion draft. But you know, what's funny is I was using classic draft classes, and in my first draft class, it was the 1978-79 draft class, and so Larry Bird was the consensus overall.
No, I don't like that. Now we're at 0-2 for Peterson. The pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did go, and that's going to be strike 3, and that's going to be an out. Oh, so that out was not rewarded after all. That was just a scoring error. So now we got 1 out, and this game can end in a double play.
Yeah, and then
he did go around.
I had the number 1 pick, and I drafted Larry Smooth out of Indiana State, and so 2 years later, it was the '98 draft class, and Tim Duncan was the number 1 pick, and I traded like 3 future number 1s, and I got Tim Duncan, and I paired him, and then I actually got lucky with some second round picks, some European players, some second round picks that popped.
Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 2 for Josh Young.
And I ended up winning 2 championships with Larry Smooth, and then with my European players, I won 3 more. And so in 10 years, I won 5 chips with the Sonics off the backs of European players. And Timmy D.
0-2 for Josh Young. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is 2 outs. And the Mariners are just 1 out away from winning the series. And crazy to think that just Friday night, the vibes were really down, and now we're just 1 out away from this thing turning around to a series. Could be a series victory.
It looks like it.
We'll have to see.
It looks like it. It looks like it.
But it's going to be against Evan Carter, the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Evan Carter is 1 for 3.
Rip.
Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Connor. Joey has it. The goes to the bag, and the ball game is over. The Mariners win the series against the Texas Rangers after dropping Friday's game in a very depressing way. The Mariners make up for it and win the series off of amazing wins yesterday and another amazing win today off of a platoon ball. We had Rob Refsnyder hitting a home run, J.P. Crawford hitting a home run, Randy Arozarena hitting a home run. So what a finish, and the criticisms worked. I was trashing them on social media along with you know who, that we're saying, yep, this game is over. And then we said J.P. Crawford's not getting his number retired by the Mariners. That belongs to A-Rod. He goes, home run! So any thoughts that you had throughout this entire game, as the Mariners do come away with a 2 out of 3, and will go into that momentum going up against the Sacramento A's.
Yeah, I just, by the way, congratulations. That was a nice little series win right there. And yeah, that was really nice, man. I was actually happy to see that one. You know, the Mariners played tough even without their best lineup. I kind of like it.
They went with their worst lineup and they still won, so that's what makes it even more impressive. And it was nice to see that Rob Refsnyder finally got his first hit, and he did it in a sweet way with a huge home run. And it was a hard hitting one. Like the moment you saw it, you figured that it was going to be gone. And they're actually going to talk to Rob Refsnyder, and I wonder what he has to say. He's going to be talked to by the hyphen. And I wonder what he's saying.
I don't know. What is he saying? Oh. Wow.
They're talking about that Mackenzie Gore has been dominating. He's talking about how much he got the fastball on Mackenzie Gore. I mean, he's basically just reflecting on the home run, which he does deserve a lot of credit. I mean, he did set the tone. I mean, without Rob Refsnyder and JP and everyone else, Mariners don't win this game. And also, how about great pitching by Brian Wu? He also pitched very well going into the 7th inning. He did give up 2 runs, but he still came away with it. Gave up only just 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Retired 16 in a row. People may have forgotten about that, but that's what he did.
Yep.
And Andres
Wu had a great
Munoz,
start today, man.
It was a
great start today.
Really great start. And he was pitching very efficiently too. And then once the 7th inning happened, then we kind of figured, okay, I think he's done, because the Rangers finally just happened to get to him. And that's when you know that, unfortunately, it was time to get to the bullpen. But luckily, the damage was very limited. And now the Mariners will be going up against the Sacramento A's, and I want to see how the A's are doing. Let's take a look. The A's, they are 11-10, so it's going to be a tough one.
Right.
Like the A's, they are tied in the division with the Texas Rangers, so expect it to be tough. They have a top-heavy offense. They have a pretty good offense, very talented team, and it's a ownership of John Fisher that's actually spending the money. So if they think that it's going to be an easy series, yeah, it's going to be one day at a time. And good thing that the Mariners, and good thing the Mariners' gutsy call with their lineup did work out, because now that tomorrow the Mariners are going to have Luke Raley a little bit more fresh, Dom Canzone's going to be a little bit more fresh. The bullpen, they didn't use too much of it, so that means more of their pitchers will be available tomorrow. It's just that Munoz may not be available because he's had to pitch the last 2 games to get the saves. So, but because like we'll have Luke Raley more available and Dom Canzone, there will be opportunities to hopefully win the series before they go into the road trip to St. Louis.
Yeah, I listen. I think it's going to be all right. I think we're going to do quite well. Sacramento, by the way, those jerseys are hard. They're their alternate jerseys are pretty sweet. But listen, man, the A's have always been a tough out for the Mariners historically. This is not exactly the easiest team to get by, whether we were down in Oakland or up here in Seattle. They always seem to play us tough. But that being said, what I will say is that, now that you're coming off a series win against Texas, and now you have the A's, this is the opportunity for Seattle to kind of get into their season and start stacking up series wins. So let's see if they can build off of this one and take another series win against the A's and start getting on a nice little roll and see if we can get on top of the West and roll from there and get back to the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a good series.
Let's hope so. And it's something that the Mariners really needed because they were coming off of a disastrous series against the Padres. And in hindsight, they really should have at least gotten one of those games. I mean, they blew a 6-2 lead in the second game. So they should have at least gotten that. So had they gotten that win, it wouldn't have felt as painful. But they were at least able to somewhat make up for it by winning 2 out of 3 against the Texas Rangers. And no one would have. I don't think anyone really expected that. I certainly did not. I was like maybe a 1 out of 3 at best, but they certainly exceeded my expectations. And if only the Mariners, if only like their top 3 hitters now, if only Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez could at least start batting 200 from this point on. I'm not saying to bat 200 for the rest of the season, but if they can start getting to 200, then the Mariners, they could easily run away with this division because the offense, they're being carried by more of the second half of the lineup, like the Luke Rayleighs. You got JP Crawford is even contributing. He's batting over 200. I mean, he hit a 2-run home run. Cole Young has been coming on to his own. So if the top heavy hitters can just at least get it going, Mariners shouldn't have a problem getting back to that, to at least be getting close to that division lead.
Yeah, and again, man, it just starts. It starts not. It's not about looking ahead. It's just taking each series by itself. That was one of the good things about what they did last year is they weren't. They were solely focused on the here and now, and they were able just to kind of stack up series wins and put themselves in a good position. On top of the fact that kind of took advantage of a weak American League West. So from that standpoint, it's kind of still feels the same way. But again, you got a good opportunity right in front of you, and you're absolutely right. If the Mariners can get their top 3 rolling, on top of the fact that you actually kind of have a nice little hot Randy Arozarena right now. So if you can get at least one of those guys or 2 of those guys in the mix, all of a sudden now, instead of getting 2-3 per game, now all of a sudden you're getting 5-6 consistently, and all of a sudden you're going to take that pressure off your pitching staff. So it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier for this team to win games.
To preview going into the next game, we've got Emerson Hancock against JT Ginn, and then on Tuesday it's going to be Jacob Lopez and Luis Castillo. Because Castillo has been off to a pretty poor start. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be Aaron, can't say his last name, against Logan Gilbert. So the Mariners I'm going to say they have a solid opportunity to at least take 2 out of 3. It's just that it's going to be how they go up against the A's offense, which has been known. And they do have a very good offense. Like they got Shea Langoliers, got Tyler Soderstrom, Nick Kurtz. There should be Brent Rooker in there. You would think that he's got to be somewhere in there. I don't even think he's even. Yeah, Brent Rooker's in there. He's not playing well, but this is a very talented team. And I know I said it before. Yep. The A's are actually spending money because of the anticipation of Las Vegas.
So
watch out for this team.
And right, the smack dab in the middle of this is Luis George Castillo right here, because he's, and again, he has not been the same pitcher since second half 2022, and he is prone to the big inning. And all of a sudden, you're down 5 runs, and the A's are certainly capable of putting up a crooked number, especially if Luis can't locate his fastball and he doesn't have any bite on his off-speed pitches. That thing can get away from Luis pretty goddamn quick. So. it's going to be up to Emerson Hancock and Logan Gilbert to handle their business.
And it's going to be also up to the Mariners offense to take care of business. And as long as like Josh Naylor can pick it up, Julio can pick it up, and Cal Raleigh, as long as they can do that, then that could well complement the second half hitters, which they've also been playing at least, couldn't have played worse than the big three. So put those all together and solid pitching by Logan Gilbert, Emerson Hancock, and hopefully Luis Castillo. I would say 2 out of 3 is doable, and you definitely want to go 2 out of 3 before going into St. Louis.
100%, man. But this has been fun, man. This has been really fun. Thank you for having me on. And we'll do a couple. We'll be doing a couple more as the season goes along.
We will. And everyone, thank you for being here, especially the Twitch crew. They really seem to carry the show very well. And even Reese Beast, he said it too. And well, it's time to go. And I'm going to say it. Enjoy the series victory, and go Mariners. And thank you, Steve.
Yep. Go Cougs.
What a win for the Mariners. If you intend to go to the next Mariners game or any event, use my promo code Rooftop Sports to get $20 off the purchase. And go Mariners.